Yeah, we are live. You ready for my song?
I don't belong in enterprise. I thought the limit
Share,
was the
share,
sky.
share,
Not
share,
selling other
share,
people
share.
rise.
I've been rocking this
Now
song.
I'm trying to sell a
Hey,
life that I don't
free
fit in for
book
the long
to
ride.
whoever
As
is
soon
logging
as I
on right
blow up
now
this pie,
and can
as
tell
soon
me
as I blow
what
up
song
this,
this is.
straight to the wrong
Drop it in
way.
the
Got some
chat.
people who gon' say that I'm going the wrong way, cause they go their own way. You must think that I'm you. Trying to
Hey, I'm
take
looking
all
at
my
myself on
fun away.
Facebook.
I just played I'm a pump fake. I
It's
know
so
some people
it's so
gon'
random.
hate, but I can't let them dictate how I play my game, how I shoot. Let me
It's a party all night long. Welcome to my virtual launch party. If you're wondering who this young lady is to my right, your left, I don't know what angle is showing it to you. Her name is Amber, and she is CEO. Is that your title? CEO
Owner,
of No
owner.
Guts, no owner, CEO, founder, contributor, organizer, boss of No Guts Nor Glory. And she is maybe single-handedly the reason why I'm launching this soon. I told Amber, no, 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 no. I'm launching in 2021. I want things to be perfect. She said, Darryll, the world needs this right now. And I said, okay, you're right. I said, there's two things that I learned this year. Number one, listen to Amber. Number two, listen to Sprite Loriano. And that has served me well. Guys, I want to thank you for joining me today. I want to ask you to share with everyone you know, host a watch party on Facebook, tell everybody to come join. I'm going to keep it together tonight. Um, in 2000 and what's the year? 12, right? I keep saying 11. It's 12. In 2011 or 12, I always forget the year. I got told the terrible news that I was no longer able to play sports. I had overcome a back injury, and because of my manipulation of the healthcare system, selling drugs throughout the state of Michigan, because of my um, addiction to opioids and all the things I did, I was able to numb my pain enough to play the game of football. But it got so bad to the point where I could not stand up straight because there was a permanent hunch in my back, and my nose was bleeding. And every time I made contact on the field, the coaches would see the blood just splatter everywhere. I know that's kind of more or gross, but that's the truth. And when they saw that happening, they said, dude, we don't know what you're doing, but we can't let you do this anymore. So going into my senior year, they kicked me off the team. And that is when I had to face the reality that I wasn't prepared for life after sports. I didn't know my identity after sports. I didn't think that anyone would like me outside of my ability to run fast, jump high, and be a beast on the field. And so because of that, I decided to attempt to take my life. I started mixing alcohol with my opioid pills in hopes that I would get in a car accident and end it all. There was one specific time I remember vividly swallowing a whole bottle of, I think it was oxycodones, hoping that I wouldn't wake up the next day. Not only did I not wake up high or dead, but I didn't wake up high either. And I was frustrated that God would not let me take my life. Long story short, I ended up in a psychiatric unit, and it was there that my life changed forever. And in this book, Who Am I After Sports, I share this story. I get real about my battle with depression. So if you struggle with any type of depression, if you know somebody who has mental health challenges, this book can help. The second thing that was driving my suicidal ideation was that I didn't think I had something in life that would fulfill me like sports once did. It wasn't that I didn't think I could be successful at anything, Amber. It was that I didn't think that I would be fulfilled like I was at sports. And some people in transition feel that way now, whether it's I lost my dream job and now I'm in transition or whatever, whatever, whatever. They are questioning if their future is going to be better than their past. That was me, and I didn't think that it would. So when I overcame suicide, I went on a journey for 5 years. I read every book I could read. I bought everybody's course on identity, purpose, and meaning. I watched TEDx talks. I took a week-long leadership development experience so that I could find purpose. And I got to this place where I found something that if somebody came and offered me an NFL contract, I would say no. And I noticed that was not common to my peers. I was talking to some of my former players, my teammates, and they were like, dude, I wish I could play sports. They were still trying to jockey. They were still talking about their sports days as if it was their glory days. And here I am living my glory days as if they're in front of me and not behind me. And so I started to share my story and help others. In 2017, we launched Second Chance Athletes and began to help athletes discover their identity and purpose beyond sports. And now the book is out. The whole process is out there. So I'm yakking too much. This is why y'all should have played the video, because the video was only 2 minutes, but we couldn't find it. It's cool. But we love your support. We're going to talk about how 100% of all of our proceeds, 100% means every penny that we make for the first week, during the first week from the book, when you go and purchase it at secondchanceathletes.com. Here's what we're going to do. Not only will you get access to all the bonuses, but we're going to give 100% of those proceeds to inner city youth programs, because inner city youth sports programs, I got to make that distinction, because we believe that sports is a powerful platform to develop student athletes and to help our youth succeed in life. And we're going to talk about that a little more. But I want to introduce you to Amber. Amber, owner, CEO, director, whatever, of No Guts, No Glory. And only allows 10 people in the live stream. Okay. So I'm reading this. Amber, can you stop me from talking?
Yes, it's actually really a huge honor to be here and to help kick off this live stream party for so many reasons. This is a huge day in Darryll's life. And so for everybody who's weaving in and out live, watching the replay, thank you for stopping and taking time to honor Darryll and to celebrate him today. This is a remarkable time on the planet right now. And there's a lot of people feeling the weight of the world, right, on your shoulders. I feel it. Darryll, you might be feeling it, right? There's a lot going on in the world right now. And I had the privilege of hosting Darryll yesterday on a live stream through my entire network and all of my channels. And we had such a great discussion about what's really like the content, the tactics, the strategies, the stories inside of his book. And I was feeling yesterday like every single person on the planet needs to read this book, not just people who have an interest in sports, who played sports or want to play sports, like freaking everybody. I got the pleasure, it was an absolute gift to meet Darryll a couple of years ago. And Darryll found me online somehow and wound up on my email list. He shared yesterday that, he ended up engaging and reaching out to me directly beyond just being on the email list because of a feeling that he had. There was a connection that was made. And I'm so glad I said whatever I said in that email that day, because I got to know who Darryll is. And he sent me this long email followed by another email and another email. And we were, in this exchange, just talking about, life and potential and leadership. And so fast forward, like I was an instant Darryll fan. With what I do in my business, I have an agency that builds websites and I do book launches and marketing for conscious thought leaders like Darryll. So I'm talking to people all day long, every single day. And when I met Darryll, it was like 1 in 7 billion. I mean, there's nobody like Darryll. And yeah.
Say it again. Just kidding.
Literally nobody. And throughout the many months that I've gotten to know him, he's shown me more and more of who he is. So you see the ministry side of Darryll that I freaking love, man. When you tap into Darryll's wisdom and he just goes, you've never seen anything like that. You've never felt anything like that. So I'm really hoping that you guys get to experience that today on the live stream. But he has this like crazy side, the funny side, the entertaining side. He's chill, he's relatable, he's the total package. I'm sure his wife definitely agrees. And there's 3 little cutie pie girls. So like Darryll is somebody that I believe anybody can relate to and feel safe with. And that's in and of itself pretty remarkable this day and age. He's very honest. So that what he's sharing with you is it's true and it's going to make a difference. So in the book, He's talking about purpose and mindset and growth and leadership and things that every single person on the planet needs right now. I got the privilege to launch his book with him behind the scenes. And it's so crazy that you would allow me to kick this off with you today, Darryll. It's like the ultimate honor. And I'm not just saying that to like be nice or whatever. Like, it really is the ultimate honor when one of the biggest moments in your life, you're choosing to include me in that. Like, that's a big honor. For those who are coming in to speak behind me, it's an honor, and we thank you for being here. For those of you watching, please, please tag a few people in the comments. Let's get more people to watch this live stream, because Darryll is putting on a true event for you tonight, and it is going to be amazing. So you can start a watch party in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen to make this go viral. And my last ask, and then you can stop me from talking so much, is I implore you to consider going and buying 10 copies of the book. Don't buy one, buy 10. 10 copies of the book. Donate them to your local high school football team. Donate them if you want to. Christmas gifts. Everybody needs this. But buy 10. Again, all proceeds are going straight to charity. So this isn't about Darryll. It's about healing our world and our community. And we're going to need your help in order to do that. So I'm just grateful to be here. Darryll, you have my highest respect. Really appreciate what you're doing in the world, man.
Awesome. If you guys go to secondchanceathletes.com and you see how awesome our website looks, it's because Amber and her team were the ones who helped design it. Well, they designed the whole thing. And then if you guys are like, how in the world, Darryll, are you doing so much? You've got guests, you've got influencers, experts, athletes, coaches, trainers. The answer is because their team is coordinating everything on the back end. So they're amazing. So yeah, buy 10 copies and donate, but also go over to No Guts, No Glory. If you're an author, you're an influencer, you have anything that you need to be well represented in the world, go to them, because they will take more than good care of you. They're the best. Listen, I'm a marketing expert. I used to do marketing consulting, and they are the best in business. And I can say that with true authenticity. And I told my wife this the other day. I was like, I cannot imagine doing any of this without y'all. So thank you so much, Amber. I know you're gonna kind of sign off, and then we're gonna let my wife do some talking, and then we got a special guest. So thank you so much. Anything else you want to mention before I boot you out of the live stream?
I just implore you guys to seriously get involved in this moment. Imagine times in your life where you wished your community had risen up to support you. This is a moment that we can join forces and do that for Darryll, and there's nobody more deserving than that. So that's it. I said my piece, and I'm going to be engaging in the chat and watching you all night long. So
all right. Thank you. Bye-bye. And boom, she's removed. And look who else I found. Bang! Look at those pretty ladies. Hey, how you doing?
Hi.
This is my wife, everybody.
Can you let all the girls in?
Oh, you mean these people too?
Yay!
Hi.
Look, you got double sound now.
Uh-oh. Here.
You got to mute one of the computers.
There we go.
There you go. There you go.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
I like how y'all have balloons and I don't, but that's cool.
We'll bring them into you in a minute to party. So this one says, "You're my superhero." Do you see it?
Yes.
So the girls wanted you to know that they are so super proud of you.
Thank you,
and they love your book. Ava, come tell Daddy what shirt you're wearing.
Yeah.
We all
need hope.
Yay!
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
She wanted you to know that whenever she sees a t-shirt, she thinks of you. And so she was just really excited to come here. Yeah. So we're partying in this room, but we're supporting you from across the hall, and we love you so much, and we're super proud of you.
Thank you. Love you guys. I would like a balloon, like one single balloon, please.
Okay, Ava, take this one.
Hi, Amaya.
I take these.
Hi, Amaya. Oh, great. Oh,
here they come.
Here. Oh no. Oh no. Can somebody post the agenda in the chat so I can make sure? What's next? Am I supposed? Oh, I'm supposed to introduce the scholarship fund.
Yeah,
right?
tell us all about the scholarship fund.
I don't want to cry. Thank you. Yay! There we go. Balloon. All right. Thank you, baby girls. That for me too? Yes. Thank you. Thank you. It's so cute, man. I love my girls. Oh my gosh, this is snaps. Okay. Let me get serious. All right, so real quick, what was that last year, Britt?
What?
When we were on vacation.
2 years ago now.
That was 2 years ago. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
We're on vacation and we're getting ready to go to Disney World the next day, and we get this text that our football chaplain, my mentor and friend, Elder Mike White, had a heart attack in the middle of a marriage counseling session. And my immediate reaction when I heard that was like, oh, he's going to be all right. Like, cool. I can tell this on another live. I was like, I didn't even pray because I was like, he's fine. Like, he's going to be cool. I might have like said something in my head, but I was like, he's straight. And then we went to like the beach. I think we came back in. And then I saw that his son had posted that the helicopter was rushing him to the hospital. And I was like, oh. And then we prayed. And later we found out that he passed away. And Elder Mike White used to walk around our football stadium saying, how's your spirit man doing? Nobody knew what he was talking about. And he was always interested in the athlete first. And he would always say, man, I let you down, but God, I'll never let you down. And he was very passionate about helping inner city youth, particularly through the platform of tennis. But Elder Mike was all about the kids. He was a state police officer, and he would have these little stickers, and he would give them to the little kids, and tell them that they special. He would do what we call it, suicide prevention and anti-bullying seminars in schools. He would just do so much for the kids, and he was known for his work in the community. And so in honor of him and to continue his legacy, I want to announce two things. Number one, 100% of all the proceeds that we make from the book in the first week will go towards scholarship fund to help inner city youth sports programs. Number two, we will be giving away a youth scholar award in honor of Elder Mike for someone who just needs that break in life, someone who just an extra boost in finances, some mentorship could really transform their life. And so just know that when you go and you purchase your copy and copies for your favorite sports team, that all of those proceeds will go towards that amazing cause, because we believe as an organization in giving back. Okay. So that's it. Britt, you want to add anything to that?
I just wanted to say, when you guys get the book, you'll see something in there that Darryll wrote to Elder Mike. And you said that your only regret is that you didn't finish the book sooner so that he could have read it.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time I edited it, the first 20 times that I've edited the book, the first time I read it, it had me in tears, but I was thinking about it all day. And he may not have seen the physical copy, but he already saw the book in you. And that's why he was so unconditionally supportive of you. And so we wish he could be here to see it, but I know he already saw it in you. So it's kind of a clarity to get to see it.
Yeah, true story. I was trying to tell him, man, I was thinking about starting this organization. I don't know what to call. I didn't even know what to call it then. And I was like, I just want to help athletes and this and this. And he was like, oh man, yeah, do it, man. He's like, Bishop Jakes is gonna be calling you. He gonna have you on TV, boy. And I was like, you didn't even listen to what my idea was. It's just a classic Elder Mike. So, anyways, guys, it's going to continue his legacy. So, thank you, sweetie. Love you dearly. I want to introduce to you our entertainment for tonight. His name is Cassius Tay. I met him at Central Michigan University as a part of a program for minority men called Men About Change. And the guy has been grinding. He's been on a mission, and I've been watching him grow. He was a part of a cipher that I hosted. He completely lost to me. No, I'm just kidding. But after the release of his 2018 2-track EP Moments in Time, Cassius Tay began to perform a surge of shows throughout the Midwest, growing a fan base. Since graduating from college at CMU, where he and I met, he has been a full-time music artist with co-signs from publications such as These Days and Lyrical Lemonade. Cassius Tay's charming personality and witty flow continues to open doors for the talented act. Check out his latest project, Come Autumn, which I listened to and is dope, by the way, bro.
Thank you. Thanks.
Man, I appreciate everything you're doing, man. And I really wanted you to come on, entertain the guests, but also just to be able to share your work, expose you to our athletes, to expose you to our network of people. So, man, I'm gonna let you do your thing. Don't worry about time, man. It's my fault we running over because I talk too much. But I'm gonna let you do your thing, man, and I'm gonna go ahead and hit backstage. So you got the show.
So I'm gonna do an acapella for a song that I wrote called Fears May Come. It'll be coming out within like the next 2 weeks. Well, I guess a week now, but yeah, on October 28th. So yeah, my biggest fear is dying alone. From people never finding love to the fire and chrome. You know I never open up unless I'm writing a song. But if you ain't know me from the jump, I be minding my own. Moving on, my biggest fear is clutching a Glock. My brother really all I had when tucked in the cot. I had a dream that he was gone and messed with the block. Pops was chugging them shots. Others was looking for ops. It was a lot. My biggest fear is no mother at home. Cause since the Nino, you been bringing home the bread and I need you. I can still see the Regal been a block. My heart pant like a Chino cause they flashed the Glock. But they ain't pop it like amino acids. My biggest fear is they don't get to see cashes. War tour, superstar status, living lavish, living life on the edge. Near my way like Carlito, 50 women treated me like Trish status. I don't take nothing personal. I just know this life can't nurture you. I just know this life ain't merciful. I just know people that was friends I will call Kim revenge in this life that was birthed to you. Don't take nothing personal. I just know this life can't nurture you. I just know this life ain't merciful. I just know people that was friends I will call Kim revenge in this life. My biggest fear is letting my guard down. Big city will turn to a small town. My business all around is false now. Still they gonna buy it like mall rounds way. People shop around, I'm gonna need me a dog. People snoop around, I'm gonna need me a dog pound. I fear I wouldn't learn from lessons that God gave. Was stuck in my ways, penny stocks. Now I'm saved. They gonna brush you to the side till you wavy like pomade. It's true. That's why I see old people acting new, and I fear that when I ask people for something that I need, they gonna turn around and put it back on me. That's why I don't take it. If you offer it, that's whack to me. Don't take it personal. It's just somebody had did that to me. A wild life. People poachers trying to catch me in the night. I'm sleeping with the wall to the back of me. And actually, you lucky if you balling like an athlete that they don't take the credit just like a transaction fee. Don't take nothing personal. I just know this life can't nurture you. I just know this life ain't merciful. I just know people that was friends I will call Kim revenge in this life that was birthed to you. Don't take nothing personal. I just know this life ain't merciful. I just know this life can't nurture you. I just know people that was friends I will call Kim revenge in this life. My biggest fear is. So yeah, that song is called Fears May Come. I want to do the acapella just because of how I guess emotionally raw the song is. I had like a couple mess ups there, but that was me trying to just, make it clean as I went. But thank you so much, what I'm saying, for liking it. Fears May Come is just basically there's more to the song, but there's like a singing section in it that's not done by me. But basically, like, the song is just about laying everything out on the table that you are afraid of, and asking, just having that thought of wondering when it's gonna end, but you taking the step to make it end. And I feel like I wrote the song. Well, to be honest, I first wrote the song like the day after somebody was threatening, like, to take away my life. And I wrote it feeling ashamed that I feared things other than God. And I just felt so like upset about it. You know what I'm saying? And that's when I started writing the song. So yeah, like, if anybody wants to hear the song in full when it releases, it comes out October 28th. Once again, my name is Cassius Tay. I'm an artist from Chicago. I appreciate you all for listening. My Instagram is Cassius Tay, CASSIUSTAE. I can repeat that again if y'all need, or I could drop it in the chat. I see it's a chat.
We already got you, bro. We got it on the
I
screen.
do see it right there. Okay,
they dropping it in the chat for you. Go follow my guy, Cassius Tay, and I'll make sure that when we capture this event, we'll send out the clip so that you can have it as well, and that so our guests can just see your segment and go follow and support what you're doing.
Thank you,
man, I appreciate you coming on tonight. Thank you, man. Support everything you're doing. It's crazy to watch you grow, bro.
Thank you.
I know bigger things is ahead, so stay in touch, all right?
Thank you so much. Thank you, bro.
All right, much love.
All right.
Next up is my guy, John Guyton. Is he in the room? Is he in the building? I see him. Ooh, and he got the setup today. You're not out there on the beach, in the pool. You ready? So I know you got the coat on.
Sometimes, look. Sometimes when you spit so cold, you got to wear a little jacket. You can deliver messages from anywhere. You know what I mean? You've been in the pool, set up lights, all that. It doesn't matter. It's about the message, man. We're here to ask some questions today.
That's true. That's true, man. For those of you who don't know John Guyton, I always tell this story, okay? And I got to come up with a different story, but here's what happened. I had the opportunity to speak on a TEDx stage, and I go to this event, and I'm the first one in the lineup. So I'm like, okay, cool. I don't got to compare myself to anybody, even though y'all know I'm going to do that because I'm an athlete and I like to compete. I go, and I do a pretty good job. I mean, you can watch the TEDx talk. It was all right. It wasn't my best work, to be honest with you, but you know what? It was inspirational. Everyone loved it. I got the message across. And then John Guyton got up. And he did such a phenomenal job. But, man, he's a former athlete, played at the University of Colorado. Y'all won a championship, didn't y'all?
Yes.
Conference championship? Yeah, won a conference championship because he wore his ring there. He was flexing. And and man, I think, his speech is phenomenal, by the way. What did they rename your speech as again on TEDx?
Everyone has hardships.
Everyone has hardships, y'all. And so I want you to go check it out. It's the original. Tell them about the original title.
The original title was Why the Race Card Has Expired.
Yes. And so when you go listen to that, they changed the title because Lord knows why. But it's a phenomenal talk in terms of how we always want to play the race card every time we get discriminated against as minorities. But he has a framework on how you deal with that discrimination. So go listen to that. All right. So I wanted to bring him on because he's a great speaker and he understands the transition. He has his own process for helping athletes transition. But I really wanted him to just kind of drill home the point of why this is so important and why this matters. So, man, I'm going to take myself off and then just let you have the floor.
It's about time. No, thanks for having me. I'm so happy, so excited to be here, to be a part of this and a part of what you're doing. It's absolutely fantastic. So obviously, if you haven't gone and gotten a copy of Darryl's new book, Who Am I After Sports, please go grab a copy, grab 5 copies, 10 copies. And the reason you want to do that is because in life, we regret the things we didn't do, not the things that we did. And this is not one of those things you want to regret, because the book has the potential to save someone's life, have potential to enrich someone's life. And why would we pass up an opportunity to do that? I want to spend a few minutes here and talk to you a little bit today about, this overall question of transition. That's kind of been the theme of a lot of things, right? Is transition. Transition, moving from one thing to another. What's so scary about moving from one thing to another? And I think the one word that most of us look for here is uncertainty. I'm not sure what's on the other side of the door. I'm not sure how this is going to impact my life. I'm afraid that my best days are behind me. That's what makes transition so tough. That's what makes transition so stressful. I want to teach you today, I want to talk to you today about 6 different things that you need to make sure you keep in mind. And these 6 things will help you master your next play, whatever your next play happens to be. It could be a new job. It could be that startup venture. It doesn't really matter what the next thing is. The only thing that matters is how you feel and what you do, your attitude and your actions. So in my TEDx talk, I speak about the things that you can control. Why would I focus on the things that we can't control? We have to take the difference between fault and responsibility. I understand that everyone here has things that have happened in their life that are out of their control. And it's not your fault that those things have happened. But no matter what has happened, it is your responsibility to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and move yourself forward. And I want to help you do that in whatever the circumstance might be. Period, point blank. So what's next? Transition. What in the world is next? What are we talking about here? What's the first thing? What's the first thing we need to talk about when we're dealing with uncertainty, we're dealing with these things? It's mindset. It's mindset. And I want to talk to you specifically, when it comes to mindset, I want to talk about perspective. How you see what you're looking at is everything. You ever noticed how somebody could look at something and say, that's trash? Oh, that's garbage. Throw that away. And another person can look at the same thing and say, ooh, that is an antique. I'm going to take that. Oh, I got to fix a couple of things and sell that for thousands of dollars. Happens all the time. How can two people look at the same thing and have a different and see things differently? That's perspective. And your perspective is going to impact your choices or your perceived choices. And your choices are going to impact your actions, and your actions, right? So it all matters. So what shapes your perspective? Is it all the things that people say to you all day? Things that your coaches say to you, your teachers say to you, your loved ones say to you? Yeah, that has an impact. But nothing has more of an impact than what you say to yourself. Talking about negative self-talk specifically. It's that little voice in your head that tells you things. And it ranges in our minds from a little bit of disrespect, a little bit of doubt, to downright just straight disrespect. Straight disrespect. So the first thing I want to challenge you to do is understand, to understand and have a relationship with that voice. My dad told me years ago, he's like, son, that ain't you. I was telling him about my negative self-talk. I'm like, if it ain't me, who is it? So I made up a persona, called him Zertog. And I invite you to do the same thing. Your negative self-talk can be Zertog as well. It's a persona. It's not me, right? But this voice in my head is not going anywhere. So its name is Zertog. He's from the planet Zertog. He loves basketball, and he's a jerk. So whenever I've got something going on, he's like, oh, you're going to mess that up, or hey, I wouldn't do that if I were you, or you look kind of silly. You probably should stop. And it's always there. You just have to have the relationship with them. Is look, I understand that you're nervous, but we're going to do it anyway. I understand you're afraid. It might not go well, but we're going to do it anyway. Having that relationship with that negative self-talk, understanding that it will go nowhere. It will go nowhere. The idea that, man, I'm not sure that I know what I'm doing. I'm not qualified for this new position, this new job. Most people have the misconception of thinking that that goes away. Oh, you thought that there's a level of success that you could reach and then it just goes away. It never goes away. I've been in the room with entrepreneurs, just closed $50 million rounds, people who are on the verge of IPOing, sitting in the room saying, I have no idea what I'm doing. No idea what I'm doing. I feel like an imposter. I feel like I don't belong here. I feel like I've just been getting lucky this whole time. So you're not alone. When you have those uncertainties, everybody has those uncertainties. The secret is nobody knows anything. Nobody knows anything. Who knows? Who knows? You just have to take that step and see what happens. Now, mindset is important, obviously, because everything starts with you. Everything starts with you. The voice that's in your head is the voice that you hear the most out of anything else. Give yourself a gift every morning. So here's my homework to you is every morning you want to give yourself a gift. Right? So we're going to spell the word gift. This is your mindset drill. This is something that's going to be extremely powerful for you if you put it into practice. The G in gift is gratitude. Take a second right now and think of something that you're grateful for. Just right now. Just take a second. Think of something you're grateful for. You got it? Okay. Think of 3 more. 3 more. Right now. You got it? Okay. Now 10 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You got it? Now, some of you probably got it if you've been practicing gratitude. Some of you maybe struggle with that. You struggled coming up with the 13, 14 pieces of gratitude that I asked you to come up with just right now. Practice that. It's like a muscle. When you practice that, the more you practice gratitude, your perspective will completely transform and change. Watch how the practice of gratitude transforms your life completely. Completely. The I. So you wake up, gratitude, right? You got the gratitude done. Next thing you want to do and give yourself a gift is set your intention for the day. Here's the reality. If you don't set your intention, somebody else will set it for you. And you don't want somebody else to set it for you. You want to maintain your control. So you set the intention for the day. What do you intend to do? You set those priorities. The F, we're spelling gift here. So the F is for firm statements. Some people may say affirmations, but the letter A is not in the word gift. Firm statements. These are things that you say about yourself, about who you are, about how you act, about how you understand and interpret certain situations. You say the statements confidently and positively. Those are the two rules, confident and positive. Let me tell you a little secret about your brain. Your brain favors quantity over quality. I know, right? It's like, come on. It doesn't matter. Quantity. If you say something enough, your brain will go to work to try to make it true. It's amazing how that works. You say it all the time, all the time, all the time. Now, at some point, you have to do the work, but it's your brain that says, okay, this person keeps saying that they're disciplined, that they stick through with things to the end. This person says that they're, okay, let's make this true. Your brain will work to find evidence to make that true. It's an incredible phenomenon. So we got the G, we got the I, we got the F, now the T. Take action. Nothing matters if you don't take action, which is the second principle I want to talk to you about is action. We're spelling the word master as well. We don't spell today. So we spell the word gift. That's for your mindset. Give yourself a gift every morning. Now, action. Okay? I want to give you a license to think big. Think big. You have a big idea, a big dream, that's great. You have a big vision. Keep doing that. That's all good. But act small. What does that mean? What does that mean? If somebody has a huge vision of something, it's going to be overwhelming to think about all the things that need to be done to take care of that, to accomplish that thing. But when you break it down, it's something called goal setting to the now. And this is one of the most powerful tools you can possibly use, this whole goal setting to the now. Goal setting to the now is kind of like one of those Russian Matryoshka dolls, right? You've seen them where one's big and then it goes inside the other one, inside the other one, inside the other one, until it goes a little tiny little one thing. That's one of those Matryoshka dolls. That's like goal setting to the now. So you take your someday goal. So think of a goal right now, your someday goal. Then you say, okay, that's my someday goal. Well, what do I have to do in the next 5 years to be on track to reach my someday goal? All right, you got that locked in? Okay, great. What is the one thing I need to do this year? I can do this year to be on track for my 5-year goal, to be on track for my someday goal. Okay, great. You got that? Cool. What's one thing I can do this month to be on track for my 1-year goal, for my 5-year goal, for my someday goal? All right, got that? So I need to do it this month. Okay, great. It's not small enough though, right? We still got a few more. What's the one thing I can do this week to be on track for my 1-month goal, on track for my 1-year goal, for my 5-year goal, for my someday goal? But we're not done. Then we have to go to, okay, well, if that's 1 week, then what do I need to do today? What's the one thing I can do today to be on track for my 1-week goal, to be on track for my 1-month goal, to be on track for my 1-year goal, to be on track for my 5-year goal, for my someday goal? Pretty good. One more. What's one thing I can do right now to be on track for my today's goal, to be on track for this week goal, and this month's goal, this year's goal, 5-year goal, someday goal? You step it down like that. It's called goal setting to the now. That's how you take a big vision, turn it into a small action. Big vision, small action. Got it? Good. Good. When I was a child, I had this vision. I wanted to speak and I was doing all this stuff, but I had one big problem. I had a severe stutter. I mean, I stuttered so bad so when I was 6 years old, I started to stutter. By the time I was 7, it was so bad that I couldn't even string 2 words together. It was unreal. So frustrating as a child. You want to say something and you can't say something. So I struggled with this for years. I used to go to speech therapy, and I would have these PhD speech pathologists that would tell me, have me read Cat in the Hat, and then, good, you're doing so good, all that type of encouraging me, rubbing my back. And I get out of second period, and then I go do that, and I come back. And I did that for years. Fast forward to my 10th birthday party, and it's my party. It's my birthday, and we're here. We have a pool party, and I invite some friends over, and we start to play Marco Polo. Kids can be cruel. So at my own party, it was my turn to be it, and I had my eyes closed, and I was out there, and I was Marco, and the kids, they would mock me. They would turn back and they'd say polo, laughing. And this is my birthday party, so I did what every self-respecting 10-year-old would do. I jumped out the pool crying. It's my party. I can cry if I want to. Everybody go home. That was it. So party's over. I went back to school, went into speech therapy, and I said, we have to fix the stuttering. I was trying to articulate my visions to them. And they sat me down and they said, John, you're most likely going to stutter for the rest of your life. And we will give you the tips and the tricks to cope with that. And I thought about my dreams. I thought about my big vision. I looked at them and I said, no. I quit speech therapy that day. Never came back. So here I am. I'm 10 years old. I'm like, well, I have to figure out what I can do. What I can do. I didn't know about goal setting to the now at 10 years old, but I did apply the same principle. And I realized the thing that I can do. I was focusing on what I can't do right now. I can't speak clearly. I can't speak without stuttering. What can you do where you don't stutter? And I realized that there were 3 things I can do and not stutter. Number 1, if I rapped or sang, I didn't stutter. So I would literally make up songs around the house and sing them, rap them all around the house. I didn't stutter. It was great. The second thing I noticed that I could do was mimic the nightly news anchor. So I would record every single night. And I would take the VHS tape and I would put it in my TV and I would play it back. And I would mimic the nightly news anchor every single day. House fire killed 7 up in Columbia County. James has the story, James. Back to you, Bob. Every day. I didn't stutter. It was fantastic. And the third thing I could do was visualize. So I would imagine myself on stage with a bunch of people listening to me, hanging on my every word. My pacing was perfect. My inflection was perfect. My emphasis was on point. It was awesome. And I didn't stutter. So I did that. And 11 months later, I had a conversation with my grandfather. And it was the first sentence in over 4 years that I said without stuttering. Progress. A sentence. Then it was 30 seconds. Then it was a minute. Then before the following birthday in August, I got through my first day without stuttering. A whole day. I thought, okay, now we're on to something. Big vision. But you got to take those small actions. Running around singing or rapping, can I have a sandwich? Pretending that I'm telling California about the weather for the weekend. Doing all the things that I can do. Goal setting to the now, taking the same thing and saying, what's the one thing I can do right now, such that by doing it, everything else is either easier or unnecessary. I'll say that one more time before moving on. What's the one thing I can do right now, such that by doing it, everything else is either easier or unnecessary? Who am I after sports? What do I do next? Hang on. The M is mindset. The A is action. The S is strategy. Anybody involved with sports understands strategy. If you play chess, you understand strategy. You play Go, you understand strategy. I just bought the throwback of Street Fighter, old school Street Fighter. They have it for the Nintendo Switch. Just let my kids know what Street Fighter was. Had a friend over. You remember Street Fighter? And we're doing our thing. Darryll, let me know if you want to get this work. Any character, okay? Open challenge. When you look at these,
hey, don't be challenging me on my live stream, bro. You thought I was gonna let that fly? I'm not gonna let that fly, man. Bro, no. What's the dude with the long arms that be doing the super punches?
Awesome.
Super punches.
Awesome. also.
Hey man, let me introduce you to somebody, man. Check this out. Boom. Who is that right there? You know that guy? That's Dan Lefevre. Hey, I want Dan Lefevre to pop in here. Dan, this is not John Guyton's fault. This is completely my fault. John, you're crushing it, and I hate to interrupt your keynote, but Dan has he's with his family, and he agreed to come on. I played with Dan. Dan, the reason why I wanted you to come and share, man, is because your story is just powerful, man. Like, to be a guy out of college, being compared to Tim Tebow, playing in the league, having challenges with injuries, and then shifting into a whole new season. Man, I just wanted you to come and share as a former teammate, man. What are you doing now, and how why is this message of transition so important for former athletes? Yeah, you look good. Can't hear you though, man. You gotta unmute. You can check the sound somehow. Let's see. Everybody's like, man, I was in it, John. This okay. I just want Dan to pop in. I can't hear you, Dan. Can't hear you, man. You got that Boost Mobile service, man? Oh, I hear some. We can hear you now. Say something.
There you go.
Some headphones.
Can you hear me now? Okay. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. To answer your first question, now I'm in medical sales. Working in sports medicine, so I'm watching the surgeries that I had, and maybe you had. I don't remember. I'm watching rotator cuffs. I'm watching ACLs. I'm watching hip arthroscopy every day. I'm in surgery. Completely different lifestyle than what I was living 3 years ago. I think what you're doing is awesome for a few reasons. I'm excited to read it just to see. I know I'll learn something from reading the book. But there's so much that's different. In sports and in football specifically, so much of your life is regimented. Everything is planned to a T. Every minute, you know where you're going. You know what's expected of you. It's sort of drilled down to knowing exactly what's being asked from you. Now in a sales position, it's sort of wide open, just saying, go figure it out and go chase your goals, go chase your quota and all that. So it was a big adjustment for me. I'm not even going to say I'm all the way there, but coming right out of the gates, I was lost because no one was telling me where to go, what to do, what was expected of me. So I think the message that you're preaching is awesome.
Thank you, man. I know there was a time when you and I talked, and I sent you the 3rd chapter, and that was probably 3 or 4 versions ago. Do you remember that? And what was maybe one takeaway that you had from that 3rd chapter of the book?
Darryll, why don't you refresh my memory since it's been a while?
It's been a while. It's been almost 2 years, dude. So it was about finding purpose after sports. It was a couple of questions just to self-reflect on and try to see what's next. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I know you were in the season of trying to figure out man, I don't know. I'm not really passionate. I want to do something different, but I like what I'm doing and blah, blah, blah. So yeah.
Absolutely. Those are great questions to ask and stuff that I'm probably still searching for, to be honest.
Yeah.
It seems so clear to us that, we were football players, and that was my purpose. I'm a football player, and that's what I'm supposed to do. And then once you exit that reality of what I'm doing every day is no longer there, you lose your sense of purpose and your identity.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, things that you're preaching to young people of finding a purpose outside of just one specific thing that you do is awesome. I think, but I'm looking forward to reading this book and learning more because I'm still looking for my purpose, Darryll.
Well, we got you, man. We got you covered. We'll make sure you get a signed copy. Dan, I appreciate you as a former teammate. I thank you for taking time away from your family just to support this book launch. Man, fire up chips.
Fire up chips. Season starts in a few weeks.
Yeah, I know, right? Go be with your family, man. Love you, bro.
Okay. Thanks for having me. Love you too.
Yeah, anytime. Peace. John, don't ever challenge me like that again in Street Fighter. I will cut you off every time.
Any character. We should put that on live too. Any character.
Hey, so y'all hear this right now. You
choose my character and yours is what I'm saying. Let me just be very clear. You can choose my character and your character, and I will defeat you. Now, this is Street Fighter up to Street Fighter 2. All them extra weird ones, I don't have an experience in those. But Street Fighter 2, it's whatever.
Yeah. So let me just say one thing, and then we'll get into your so you can finish your speech, because I know people are like, Darryll, shut up. Dan, I just wanted to emphasize something that Dan couldn't have the time to articulate. That he is one of the reasons why we do what we do. Because here's a guy who was on billboards being compared to Tim Tebow, played in the league, and nobody ever thinks to ask the question, how's he doing mentally? We assume that they're just doing fine. They're good to go. But you can hear him, and I appreciate his transparency and saying, like, I'm still trying to figure it out. Like, I need to read the book. And that's huge. That's huge because to get athletes to that point is hard enough. And so we're absolutely going to help him. But that's what I'm talking about. That's why this mission is so important. That's why we say former and forgotten athletes. And so go over to secondchanceathletes.com, buy the book. Look, y'all, we're in the middle of John's fire keynote, John. I don't know how much time you have left, but I know the people are waiting to hear. So I'm going to shut up and let you continue. And I'm going to go offline. So, guys, host a watch party, share with everyone you know, go buy the book.
Thank you. And yeah, I'll wear you out Street Fighter 2 anytime. So strategy, we were at strategy. So the M is mindset, the A is action, the S is strategy, right? What does that strategy look like? You're always following a game plan. Here's the secret is that there is no done. We're always in transition. You're always in transition. Your cells are always recreating. Your mind is always at work. You are always in transition. So instead of thinking that there is this one lily pad you're going to jump to and everything's going to be okay, or there's this one milestone you're going to hit and everything's going to be okay. I used to have that same thing, man. Once I get to this, once I get started on this much, it's going to be all good. Once I raise this funding round, it's going to be all good. Once I get to my first million stuff, it's going to be all good. Once I do this, it's going to be all good. It never stops. And let me say this. This is probably the thing I want to, as far as wrapping up strategy. If you hear anything else, we're talking about life. It doesn't get any easier. It doesn't get any easier. You know what happens? You get better. That's what happens. 100 pounds is 100 pounds. 300 pounds is 300 pounds. The weight doesn't change. What changes is your strength. The distance doesn't change. What changes is your endurance. Right? The constant change in life, that is going to happen. That's a guarantee. I guarantee that something's going to happen that is unexpected. Guaranteed. You heard it here first. Write that down. Something will happen in the future that is unexpected. A good thing and a bad thing. They're going to happen, unexpected. So knowing that, understanding that, think about the strategies of what happens. Okay? So if you need to get better, what are the things that are happening? One of the things that not only athletes, but anybody deals with is overwhelm. I feel overwhelmed. I have this going on, that going on. Get better. Because that feeling of overwhelmed is not going to go away. And you have to figure out what's the strategy. So I'll give you this one strategy, then we'll move on to the next level. You feel overwhelmed? Do this. Take a pack of 3x5 cards and write down everything you have to do, all the actions, okay? Go on your to-do list, then go in your email inbox, and then go in your head. You'd be surprised how many things that are not written down, not on your calendar, not in your to-do list, but they're things that you have to do that are just taking up space, renting space in your head. Write them on a 3x5 card. Let me be specific. Write one thing on a 3x5 card, one thing. Then write one more thing. And write one more thing. And do it all like that. Then, sports, make yourself a little bracket. Single elimination. You take your stack, you put one next to the other. And you ask yourself, out of these things, what's the one thing? What's the one thing, right, I can do right now, such that by doing it, everything else is either easier or unnecessary. You ask yourself that. This is the strategy. And you look at those two things. It doesn't matter what it is. Clean out my garage and fill out the, what do they say in there? The TPS report, okay? Garage TPS report. It's like, well, okay, TPS report. So there's one winner, one loser. So you make winners pile, loser pile. Do it again and again and again. Winner, loser. Take two things from the top, winner, loser. Two things from the top, winner, loser. Here's the rule. If you can't decide which one is most important in 3 seconds, they both go to the loser pile. The loser pile doesn't mean you're not going to do it. It just means that it's not the one thing right now. This is to cure overwhelm. It's to win the battle against overwhelm. Because you wake up sometimes, I have the same feeling. I'm like, I know what to do. Hold on. What are all my things? It's foolproof. It works every time. What are all my things? Winner, loser, winner, loser, winner, loser. Pick up the winner pile, do it again. Winner, loser, winner, loser, winner, loser. You're just pitting two things against each other. And then at the end, you'll have one thing. I talked to a young man that he was so overwhelmed. It stopped his productivity cold in his tracks. And he did that. He did that thing. And the thing that he came up with at the very end, the thing that he wrote down that beat out everything else. And we had started talking about business. We were talking about his business and how he needed to charge more and all this. The one card that was the one thing he needed to do was to call his dad and tell him he loved him. That's the one thing that was on his card. That was the one thing that made everything else easier or unnecessary. Because whatever was going on between him and his father was taking up, renting space in his brain. So again, it's the strategy. He did that. And then half the other cards got ripped up. Oh, I don't need to do that. I don't need to do that. I don't need to do that. This is easy. That's easy. One thing. It'll never fail you. That's a strategy. So understand that. Take that with you. Don't forget about that. And move on. Start kicking some butt, taking some names. T. We got the M, the A, the S. T. We're spelling master now. T is for time. And I'll say this. When we are thinking about time, people don't respect it in a lot of ways. They don't respect it the same way they respect money. If I said, hey, let's go to this island and it's going to cost this much, and you're going, I can't swing that. Or you can. Because it's a number of, it's money, right? It's a specific number that you have to meet. But with time, we act like we just have an infinite amount of it. Like, it's all good. It's the most finite resource there is. I'm going to say this about time. Because everybody heard it. We all have the same 24 hours in the same day. Always do your most important work. Always. If you were going into surgery as the patient and the doctor has you on the table and they're about to put you under and he says, it's like a Friday or something. And he says, I love OR3. You know why I love OR3? Look over there in the corner. You see that TV? I get to watch the game while we do your surgery. Anyways, count down from 100. Would you be cool with that? Would you be okay with that? What if you were one of those small planes and you're about to land the plane and the pilot was playing Angry Birds on his phone? Playing Angry Birds on his phone. Hold up, we're just going to land this plane real quick, playing Angry Birds. And he looks back and says, that's okay. I'm a really good multitasker. Would you accept that from the pilot when you were in the plane? Would you accept that from your doctor? I'm assuming your answer is no, I can't hear you. So if you wouldn't accept those things, then why would you ever accept anything less than doing your most important work? Why would you accept that for yourself with all the things you have to do? I don't have time. Not true. You will make time for the things that are important to you. If I told you all had to fly to a certain area or you had to make it here, make it in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean by X amount of time, you probably, I don't know, looking at the time, I don't know if I can do that. But if I said, all your hopes and dreams are at this one spot, if you can make it to this one spot within 24 hours, all of a sudden you guys would be planes, trains, automobiles, whatever you got to do to get there. You'd restructure some things. You'd postpone some things. You'd all of a sudden understand priority. Do what's important. Be where you're at. If you're going to spend time with your family, spend time with your family. If you're going to be working, work. Working out, work out. You're going to be playing Street Fighter, play Street Fighter. Whatever you're going to do, be intentional about it. That's how you do time. You respect it more than you respect your money. All right, E. I love E. I love the letter E and what it stands for because it stands for environment. Here's the rule with environment. Here's the rule. Your environment must support your goals. You guys know what that means? Your environment must support your goals. What do I mean when I say environment? If your environment doesn't support your goals, you need a new environment. Think of your environment like four tires on a car. So one car is people, is the people you spend time with. The other car is places. These are the places you spend your time. The other car, I keep saying car. The other tire is places. A third tire is your mind. All of the things that you listen to, the books you read, like the book that Darryll just wrote, the books you read, the podcasts that you listen to, the TV shows and movies that you watch, the conversations you have, everything that goes into your mind. And the fourth tire is your body. That's what you eat and drink. It is how much you sleep. It is if you're working out or not working out. It's how you treat your body. Here's a rule. Here's how you test your environment. Like, is my environment good or is it not good? Here's the test. Imagine someone several years your junior, right? They're younger than you, and they have the same dreams that you have. And they come up to you and they say, hey, I want to do exactly what you do. Ooh, tell me, who should I be hanging around with? Like, talk about the people. Would you prescribe them to spend time with everybody you're spending time with? Pass or fail? What about the places? Where should I spend my time? Would you recommend to them that they spend their time in the same places you spend your time? Pass or fail? Same thing with mine. What books are you reading? Podcasts? How do you TV shows, movies, all that? Would you recommend to that young person to do the same thing, put the same things in your mind that you're doing? Same thing with body. Pass or fail? Pass, you're good. Keep it rolling. Fail, that's a flat tire. What do you do with a flat tire? Change it. Young people, call AAA. You change the flat. That's what you do. You change the flat. And you'll be on your way. So environment, very, very important. Very, very important. So we've got the M, the A, the S, the T, the E, and now for the R. The R stands for resourcefulness. The R stands for resourcefulness. It's what you do with what you have. It's one of the most important things you can possibly have in your arsenal is resourcefulness. And I'm going to give you a very powerful, very simple shift, because resourcefulness is kind of like a muscle. If you haven't been working it out, it's probably a little weak right now. But don't worry, because you can work on this and you can actually build it up and make yourself strong. Wouldn't you want to make yourself strong? Remember, I was telling you earlier, it doesn't get any easier. If you're waiting for that, you'll be waiting forever. It does not get any easier. Don't let anybody fool you into thinking that. You get better. And part of the way you get better is to take full responsibility for the outcomes in your life. And part of taking full responsibility for the outcomes in your life is understanding how to use the power of resourcefulness. I'm going to tell you how. I'm going to show you how. Take any statement. I want you to think right now. Think of all your I can't statements. I can't afford that. I can't convince them to do this. I can't do this. I can't do that. All those things. I can't. So think of any statement that you say that says, I can't. And I want you to change that statement into a powerful question, which is, instead of saying, I can't, I want you to ask, how can I? Instead of, I can't afford it, how can I afford it? Instead of, I can't get there on time, how can I get there on time? You see, the reason this works so well is because you're going from a limiting statement to a powerful question. And what happens when you ask a powerful question? You get a powerful answer. When you ask a powerful question, you get a powerful answer. These things, these 6 keys, could be the difference between business or no business, could be the difference between job, no job, raise, no raise, could be the difference between life or death, depending on the circumstance. You got to have the mindset and the wherewithal to overcome when sometimes people that are very well-meaning may tell you that you shouldn't aim so high. You shouldn't dream so big. And I wouldn't blame them. They just want to try to keep you safe. But understand that you have to have that bravery to do something even though you're afraid. My father was the first lesson in that, my first teacher when it comes to these principles. When I was a young kid and I played football growing up, and my brother and I, my older brother, we would walk to school together and we would play catch. And we were always tossing the ball back and forth. And one day I woke up, and this is a daily occurrence. When we walk to school, we throw and catch. And I'm walking to school, but this morning I woke up and my stomach was it was in such pain. I was really uncomfortable, but I got dressed anyway, and Dad goes off to work, and so my brother and I go to head off to school. So we're walking to school. He's throwing the ball to me, and I'm usually running routes and stuff, but not this time. And I feel like I had a sneeze coming on. So my brother's throwing the ball to me, and real easy pass, and I just let it. Usually I'd reach for it, but I was in such pain, I just let the ball go. I just let it go. And that had never happened in our entire career of playing catch on the way to school. That had never happened. So my brother got concerned. He ran over and he's like, "What's wrong? What are you doing? Like, you just let the ball go. What's up?" I said, "My stomach, it hurts." He goes, "Like, enough of you can't catch the ball?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "Okay. We're not going to school. Let's go home, call Dad." I go, no, we don't have clearance for that. I'm going to school. He goes, "Nope, we're going home." I said, "Okay, if we get in trouble, this is on you." He says, "No problem." So the first action was taken. Then my brother he made a decision to leave from the way to school and turn around and go home. So we did. And we called my dad, and I can count on 2 fingers the number of days my dad missed work. So this is a big deal. So he calls my dad and he says, Dad, John, we're playing catch," and he's explaining this. "We're playing catch, and John didn't even try to catch the ball. Something's wrong. Like, this is not normal. Something's wrong. You got to come back home." My dad just got to work. "You got to come back home." My dad said, "What? Seriously?" So he gets in his truck. We had a blue pickup truck, and he gets in the truck and he comes home. I'm nervous. I'm thinking, I got a little stomach ache, and my dad's going to be mad because he's missing work. And he gets me in the truck, and we go to the doctor. And the doctor checks me out and everything. He goes, "Oh, Mr. Guyton, everything's fine. He's got a little bug. It's going around. He'll be fine. Take some fluids, take it easy, and he should be good." And my dad said, No, sir. Something's wrong. You got to check this out. Something's wrong. Trust me, my son, I know my son, and he didn't catch the ball. Something's wrong. I go, "Sir, listen, I deal with this all the time. I see a lot of these different cases." And my dad said, "But you haven't seen my son. You don't know my son. I know my son. I know this. Something's wrong." And the doctor says, "Sir, with all due respect, I'm a physician. I don't know if you have the medical background, but I really do know what I'm talking about. And I'm sorry. I'm not going to do anything more for your son. There's nothing else to do. I'm very sorry. You need to take your son home." My dad was very upset, and we left. And so we get home, and he goes and gets some towels, and he's stuffing towels in the truck. And he says, "Get in the truck." He says, "Dad, where are we going?" He goes, "We're going to the emergency room." And he put the towels there just in case I got sick. He said, "Let's go. You're not going to mess in my truck. Come on." So we get in the truck and we go to the first ER. And we get there, we're waiting and waiting and waiting. If you've ever been in the ER, you know what I'm talking about. We're just waiting and waiting. And my dad gets impatient, goes up to the front and says, "My son, something's wrong." And so I walk up there and they say, "Sir, to be honest, you probably should just take your son home. We've got a lot of people right now. He's got a stomach ache. I understand, but you went to the doctor. They didn't do anything. You come in here. It's going to be a long time. You might as well take him home, let him get comfortable, and then we'll bring him back in the morning." And he said, No. You got to do something. Something's wrong. You got to help my son. Something's not right. You guys aren't listening to me." They said, "Sir, please, you need to calm down." He goes, "I'm not going to calm down. You guys aren't listening to me. Something's wrong with my son." And they said, "Sir, if you don't calm down, we're going to have to call security." And so we left, got back in the truck, and my dad started the truck, and we drove to a second emergency room. So we get to the second emergency room, and everything starts to happen the same exact way. We sit, we wait. My dad grows impatient. He comes up. He says, "Hey, guys, you got to get my son in there. It's been a long time. I've been to one emergency room. This is the second one. I need your help." And they go, "Sir, the stomach ache." And they go, No, I know. They tried to say that at the last one. Trust me, something's wrong. You guys need to trust that something is wrong. I know my son. Quit telling me that nothing's wrong. Something's wrong. I can see it in his eyes. He says this time, I can see it in his eye. You need to help him. And then they said, it must be in the handbook, because they said the same thing. They said, sir, if you don't calm down, we're going to have to call security. And so we left. And this time we sat in that truck, and my dad just sat in the truck and didn't start the car for a quick second. And I could tell he was in deep thought, and his eyes were bloodshot red, as if he was going to cry or just, just extremely in contemplative mode. He was in that mode. And he finally started the truck up, and I said, are we going home? And he paused for a second. He didn't even look at me. He paused and he said, no, we're going to another hospital. So we went to a third hospital, third emergency room. So now we are miles and miles and miles away from our house, third emergency room. And it starts off the exact same way. We sit down. My dad grows impatient, comes up, and he's pleading this time. Guys, please. And he's telling the whole story. I went to the doctor, went to the first and the second, and they're not listening. Well, sir, okay, I understand. He goes, okay, finally. And then, well, sir, here's what we got to understand. Maybe you could take him in the morning, because we've got a lot of people. No. Dude, he's not coming in the morning. You need to help him now. And my dad was so upset. They said the exact same line, sir, if you don't calm down, we're going to have to call security. But this time he stood there like a statue and he said, call him. I was like, uh-oh. So my dad's standing there. They're figuring out what they're going to do. And while my dad's standing there, while they're making a phone call to security, a doctor comes up to me and, hey, what's your name? And what's your dad's name? And he does some sort of Master Shifu little examination and feels my abdomen and goes, whoa, hold on. He goes, what's your dad's name? I said, right. He said, Roger. And boom, he was, you, boom, we need him on the thing. I was on a gurney and in surgery in no time. It was fast. I mean, Grey's Anatomy, rush him into OR3 kind of fast. What had happened was my appendix burst that morning. And I was being poisoned, slowly but surely. Had my brother not trusted his intuition, had he not followed his rules, had he not done his thing, I would most likely not be here. Had my dad not come from work, I wouldn't be here. Had he not dismissed the recommendation of a well-meaning doctor, a physician, if he didn't overcome that, I wouldn't be here. We went to the first emergency room. If he'd have gone home, I wouldn't be here. The doctor said if I would have went home to sleep it off, I would have never woken up. If I didn't go to the second, if my dad didn't have the wherewithal to go to the second emergency room, I wouldn't be here. If he didn't go to the third emergency room, I wouldn't be here. If he didn't tell him to call him, if he didn't stand there and risk all of his freedoms for mine, I wouldn't be here. He taught me these same lessons without knowing it. I'm looking back and I asked my dad, I said, what were you thinking? What were you feeling when we were going from the second place to the third place? He said, son, I was scared. I had no idea. I had no idea if I was doing the right thing, but I felt in my gut that I needed to do everything that I can. So I just asked myself, what can I do? I was scared. I didn't know. I didn't know if I felt silly. The doctor said you were fine. The first place said you were fine. I was starting to think maybe they're right. Maybe I'm wrong, but I couldn't shake that feeling. So I said, you know what? I'm going to do everything that I can do. And I'm so grateful that he did. My message to you is that you may be wondering what's next after sports. You may be wondering what's next in your transition, because you're always in transition somewhere. But keep this in mind. When your mindset is stronger than your misfortunes, when your intentions make your actions clear, when your strategy is being followed, when you respect your time more than you respect your money, when your environment supports your goals, and when your resources pale in comparison to your resourcefulness, it doesn't matter what's next, because you are ready. You're prepared to handle it. You're prepared to deal with it, and you're ready to tackle what's next. You're ready to master your next play. I encourage you to take action. Grab the book, engage, go to secondchanceathletes.com. Reach out to me if you need anything, and I hope this was helpful for you.
Woo! What? I know what we got to do now. Play that fire. Go order the book. Go follow John. John, thank you. Hey, just let me know Xbox or PS4, whatever's out now. Whatever you're trying to do, Street Fighter, I will give you that work. But they don't know. 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 Hey, appreciate you, my man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I came out the streets to find stats.
They was like,
don't know about that.
go buy the book. Go buy the book. Go buy the book.
We still define stats. Don't know about that.
Go buy the book. Go buy the book.
Don't know about that. We still define stats.
They label me a statistic. I think they missed it. Selling drugs just to make a living. I was dealt a bad hand, but I still ripped it. I turned a couple of ounces into a whole business. You couldn't tell your boy nothing. I was so driven. Trying to make it to the league, headed straight to prison. It's crazy what we go through to get what we want while creating a life we don't.
You know what they say.
Do you know what they say?
That we can make it this way.
That's what they said about me and about you. There's Ryan, boy. But they don't know. Struggle is real, Ryan. I told him I came out the womb defying stats, man. They said with a person from Jackson, Michigan, with mental health struggles, that I might not make it. But we here. We here. If you watching right now, it's your time to host a watch party. I'm going to introduce you to one of my brothers, one of my friends, Ryan. Drug use and mental illness, it don't matter. What they say about us is dumb chatter. We do recover, we do bounce back. How about that? Smooth leather seats Cadillac. We used to all play as kids, call it Cabbage Patch. Started passing them beans, I called it hacky sack. They told us that we never make it out of the gutter. They must have been off that butter, because we here. All right, I got to chill out. I'm excited because y'all just don't know how many times I wanted to not write, not finish, quit on this book. But this guy right here kept me going, man. Ryan Shade, former baseball player, journeyman, as we like to call it. True story. I was raising initial seed money to try to get the organization off the ground, connected with the guy who said, man, you need to connect with a girl named Brandy Winans from Pro Athletes Transition. I talked to Brandy. Brandy was like, you need to talk to Ryan. He's in your area. He's passionate about the same things. We met at Waffle House, and the rest is history. And Ryan, I want you to share your transition story, man. And I just want to say thank you for carving time out of your evening to be here to support the book launch, the movement. Thank you for helping me. My wife will tell you, dude, you are a breath of fresh air, because you talk to all of these people who don't get it, and they're like, what? Athletes, they should be fine. And I talked to you, and you get it. You got it. Your heart was still connected to it. And so, man, you kept me grounded. And you made sure that I was patient in the process. And so, man, I appreciate you. Just wanted you to share your story.
No, man, I love you, brothers. Thank you for the intro, and I wouldn't miss this, man. After the journey, we've had together, and again, thanks to Brandy. I mean, it's hard to think. I mean, literally a cyber connection, right? That you and I, when we were seeking, clarity and understanding of this journey that we're both on, we reach out to this woman, and then, coincidentally, you're moving to the greater Atlanta area, and here I am. I'm right next door, man. So. And that Waffle House, man, there's some memories there too with the people we've met with and the stories we have to tell that place. It's been pretty special, brother.
Yeah.
So, struggle is real, right? I wanted to wear this, man. Brought it back from that time you had me speak with your group, and I'm really honored for that too. And we'll never forget it. But my story is, small town Pennsylvania kid. Big fish, small pond. Kind of an innovator, and I was the first D1, college baseball player to ever walk out of that area. And just that journey of travels and, through the college routes, transferring, difficult coaching situations, some abusive stuff, and trying to rediscover, repurpose, rebuild myself, some freak injuries, like, not quite as extensive as yours, but I mean, who breaks a finger driving a golf cart?
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear that? Did I tell you about that story? I broke a finger driving a golf cart, bro. Like I literally got a golf ball flying from another fairway in, and it hits my ring finger on top of the steering wheel, and it shatters my finger. So crazy story. Just wanted to add that in there of just the journey, right? Got a chance to play some professional baseball unconventionally, and then got out, man, and just couldn't figure it out, right? I mean, like so many of us, grinded. That grit, that persistence, that just that struggle, man, that we tend to just embrace as athletes when we get injured or things don't go the right way or whatever. It's that perseverance. And I just pushed and pushed and pushed, man. And then I broke about 4 years ago. And at that point it was sink or swim. And I'm really grateful for a brother of mine, Fred, who intervened and saw that I was reaching. And I had just heard Bobby Butler. I'm not sure if Bobby's going to be on tonight or not, but I had just heard him speak at an All Pro Dads event, and he played in the NFL, very successful career. I'm sure he made a lot more money than I ever did in minor league baseball. And he said he was depressed when he got done playing. And it was like, oh, gut punch. And I remember sitting in the back of the room. Can't remember another word he said. Sorry, Bobby, if you're listening. I don't remember anything else you said other than you're depressed when you got done playing. And yeah, man, it just rocked me. It rocked my world. I chased him. I tried to get a hold of him, and I know Bobby was busy. And next thing you know, I'm floundering, trying to figure it out. And my buddy Fred scooped me up, and here I am 4 years later, and meeting brothers like you. And as I was talking to a buddy of mine, he's I think he said he's 64, 65 today. He played baseball in the late 70s. And I'm thankful you asked me to share this letter, bro, today, because I shared it with him earlier in the day. And he said, bro, you just added an extra layer of clarity and healing that I still was even looking for. And he and I have been talking about this, for years, man. We've been talking about it. So he's the guy too. I don't know if I share with you when I introduced him to transition in my struggle, because as we say on the back, right, you're not alone. And but when I introduced him to it, he said, hey man, will you play catch with me one last time in the parking lot? And he told me this morning, he's like, you'll never know how much that meant. And I won't forget it, because he's one of my favorite stories. I literally played catch at work with this guy, got yelled at by our GM, and we're both like, hey, we're playing catch. We'll talk about this later.
Right.
Don't worry. So anyways, yeah, man, that's the journey, bro. Lots of ups and downs. Sport and baseball in particular was my drug of choice, bro. Yeah. So it was my addiction. It was my religion. And I, that's kind of the story.
I love it, man.
Yeah,
bro, I appreciate you. And do you have your letter?
I do. Hey, shout out to my daughter first, right? Because I texted you a second ago. Check this setup out, y'all. I don't have a setup at home. I don't have anywhere to do this. My 9-year-old daughter's like, Dad, I got you. So I've got this lamp that's shining through some sort of caged, like something that she's got that's like shining in my face. Wow. And then I'm in her room, I got her little trophies in the back, and I'm locked away. So I thought that was pretty cool that she did that for me.
Yeah. So, I want to say that, I want you to read your letter, but I just want people to know, like, man, Ryan can attest to how important this message is to get out there to the world. And we talked about the importance of the mission, not just for athletes, but for those in transition. Y'all, throughout the remainder of this evening, you're going to hear from another one of our teammates, Sydney, who's one of our volunteers. She manages our social. She's going to come, former Miami University, right? I always forget Canes, right? Go Canes is what she always says. You're gonna hear from her. You're gonna hear from former NFL pro athlete Dominique. I want him to share what he's doing, because he's helping athletes transition. He's got a powerful story as well. Then my family's gonna come on after that. We're gonna end this time together with just family remarks. You'll hear from my dad, who's a former athlete. You'll hear from my mother, my grandma, people who just supported me throughout this time. And so that's what's coming up next. So Ryan, I'd love for you to just share your letter to sport. And as he's sharing, guys, I just want you to go over and support the book launch. You can go to secondchanceathletes.com, click on the book button, and then you'll get access to all the bonuses. We'll give you exclusive replays to all of the interviews that we've done. We'll give you an exclusive interview with myself and top business coach David Meltzer. You'll get access to the first 5 lessons of the Purpose Made Profitable course, and you'll get a free ebook. So go ahead and it's still of a deal, and just you have to just go and order at Amazon and then put on the website your order number or whatever. So, all right, guys. Ryan, what you got?
Yeah, right. So, being the emotional guy, do you know that I'm gonna try and work my way through this. I've been actually reading it several times today, so I can get all the tears out of the way. Right? It's amazing to think I wrote this back in 2017, and my transition story started 11 years after I concluded sports. You and I have shared, other stories of folks around me. I had a college roommate try to commit suicide 2 weeks after he got done. I just lost a college teammate two years ago to suicide, or about a year and a half ago to suicide. And as I was sitting in his funeral with all my buddies, and I'm watching his kids dressed up in baseball uniforms sitting at the front of the chapel, and everybody's, obviously grieving and wanting to know where he was. I looked at those pictures, and I realized that I didn't get a chance to talk to him about this. I didn't get a chance to talk to him about transition, and I didn't get a chance to reach out to him. And I still struggle with that a little bit. I know you and I have talked about it, because I wish I would have had that moment, because I was so already entrenched in transition. So sharing this letter, I don't know if we can maybe just put it up someplace D after this, and just somebody just reading it may actually be some healing. And I prayed before today, not for my strength reading this, because I'll be a mess no matter what. So it is what it is. But I really wanted to pray for those who need to receive this, and that they're able to receive it. And it's what you and I are just passionate about, man. It's that closure of one chapter and the promise and the purpose of the next chapter. And it's greater, right? It's hard to see in the moment, because when you get done, a buddy of mine asked, hey, why? Or his kid was asking him after the NCAA tournament, Darryll. He said, hey, why do these guys cry after a game, after they get done playing in the NCAA tournament? And his dad had to explain to him, it's over, right? And it hits you all in that moment, and it just rocks you. It's the biggest thing at that point in your life. So I'm going to muscle through this, but thank you for letting me share it, brother. And I hope this reaches somebody and hits home. So like I said, I wrote this in 2017. It was a big game-changing place for me in my life, my reinvention with my wife and my family, and just the mission of helping athletes transition. So here we go. Dear sport, thank you for the lessons you have taught me. I've learned to work harder than my mind and my body told me I could. I learned how to work with teammates to accomplish bigger and better things than I could do alone. I have learned that there are wins and losses, but both can serve as teaching moments. I've learned that waking up before daylight to train my body is not normal, but it's how greatness is earned. You kept me from making any bad decisions in fear that you would be taken away from me. You allowed me to travel the world that otherwise I would not have been given the opportunity. You have brought people into my life that shared love with me that I can never repay. Thank you, sport. Your lessons are many, and I have dedicated and sacrificed my years of my life for you. But today I reflect and now realize that you are not my life. You are not my identity, and you are not my purpose. You've been a fabulous development tool for me as a youth and a young adult, but I know now that I am more. I'm bigger than you. I will last longer than you. I now have more filling in my heart than just you. I loved you too much. My parents gave you too much, and I considered you my religion for too long. But you are not. You never were meant to be, and I am removing you from that stature. I thank you for the friends I have made, the places I have seen, and God for my talents that enable me to spend time with you. I'm grateful for you and will take with me the lessons you have taught. But I must let go of the person I was while within your presence. May you train our next generation with the open arms of participation, generosity of life lessons to learn, and a sense of brotherhood as close to battle as one could get. I passionately request that you add to your curriculum a humility and gratefulness that each athlete be able to fully understand the opportunity you provide and how quickly it can be taken away. I ask that you learn to distance yourself from becoming too much to too many in replacing the foundation of faith and family within our homes. Speak to the hearts of the coaches and parents that lean on your guidance for their children by allowing them to understand your purpose as a tool and only a tool. Our relationship has been a life-altering journey that only you and our Heavenly Father could have created for me. I humbly state that I am grateful for each and all the experiences you presented to me. Know that the story I will continue to share will forever include you, but no longer identify as you. Godspeed, sport. That's it, brother. Oof.
Love you, man. Love it, man. Y'all show my guy Ryan some love, man. This is why I love this guy, man. He's always like his heart stays central to the mission. So you get the bell for that, my friend. Y'all, if you are watching this, just to let you know the run of show, we're gonna bring Sydney up. Matter of fact, just to make a good intro. Boom, you're live, Sydney. Boom, didn't know that I was bringing you in. Just to connect the dots. Ryan connected me to Sydney. Ryan, go ahead and tell that story while I tell people to buy and share and all that stuff. You dropped let's drop everything in there. So go there, buy the book, all that stuff.
Yeah, nothing but a God story, right? God story. So I call my next door neighbor. My wife and I needed a babysitter, and my next door neighbor is a boy, a young man, and a soccer fan. And I'm like, hey, do you mind watching our kids? We just, we need a little bit of help. And he's like, let me think about it. Gets back to me a little bit later. He's like, man, the World Cup's on. I really want to watch it, but I've got this friend. So needless to say, I don't think he was ready to watch two little girls at that point, Sydney. I think they were probably we're 6 and 9 or 7 and 9. So they're probably 6 and 8 at the time. So he punts to this girl named Sydney, and this girl Sydney just happens to be the one that we're sharing this broadcast with right now. And she came over and joined our family and has been an instrumental part. And Sydney, just to share thanks with you, my friend, for being so loving with my kids and just being so critical to my wife and I too, with your time and your efforts taking care of them. So that's a pretty wild story of it is getting a punt and a kick from next door neighbor young man who wasn't ready to take on two little children's.
Love it. Man, Sydney came into the picture. It was like Ryan was like carrying me, and then Ryan left me and got busy with work, and then Sydney was like, I got you, Darryll, and really handled social media. And really, man, just if you guys go to social media and just see how awesome it's so funny. I told her I was gonna have somebody, my assistant, start posting stuff. She was like, as long as they don't mess up everything that I've done. It's like you can literally, if you scroll down far enough, you can see where she started and where I ended. So Ryan, thank you, man. Beautiful letter, bro. Love you, man.
It was great.
We're in this for the long haul, my buddy. Sid, you're up to bat. You have the floor, and I'm not gonna talk for a long time because I will talk for a long time. If you haven't started a watch party, please do so. If you have not purchased your copy of the book yet, do so. If you've already purchased your copy of the book, don't be stingy. Purchase a copy for an athlete that a team that you love, or someone that you just care about, because 100% of the proceeds is going to support inner city youth programs for the next week, right? And we believe in giving back. So, Sydney, let them know a little bit about your story and why this message of transition is so important.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me. I'm super excited about this book. It's just going to give so much freedom to people transitioning. I started swimming when I was 5 years old. I was first introduced to the water probably at like 6 months. I specialized in sport in the 4th grade. I knew that I wanted to swim in college about in middle school and put all my time, energy, and effort into making that goal and that dream accomplished. So I committed to swim at the University of Miami. And as Darryll just said, go Canes. I swam all 4 years, was captain my senior year. I was ready to be done, though. I was not finding joy in my sport anymore. I wanted to kind of live that normal life. I wanted to sleep in on Fridays. I wanted to go hang out with friends and not have to run at 10:30 at night because I had practice the next day. So when I graduated sport, I had already gotten a job. I graduated on a Saturday and I started full time on a Monday, because that's what athletes are supposed to do, right? Go achieve, go chase that new high, go find a new goal, always climbing the ladder, always trying to get a trophy, get recognized. And getting that job for me was that fulfillment. It was what I thought I was supposed to be doing. None of my other friends really had jobs, and here I was, a college athlete, coming out of sport, retiring, and boom, I already landed a job. About 4 or 5 months after I graduated, I took a trip to Australia, which is where I was born. And it was there that I started feeling like I wasn't doing what I was called to be doing. I didn't have fulfillment in my life anymore. And I really did not want to come home. I was like, can I just stay here? I don't want to go back to my job. I don't want to go back to the daily grind. And then when I came back to the States, I started having extreme anxiety. And I'm talking about, I just had thoughts running through my mind 24/7. I had irrational fears that I was going to be fired, even though my bosses love me, my coworkers love me. I couldn't unwind. It was like I constantly had to be doing something. My mind was constantly running. I would go to work and I would perform to the best of my abilities, because that's what athletes do, right? And I would get in my car and I would cry. I would cry for days on end, weeks. And it just got to the point where I didn't want to commit suicide, but I could think of the world without me. And just thinking of not being alive, not having to go through the daily anxiety and depression that I was facing was better and more ideal to me than living through another day of the turmoil. So I eventually, at my breaking point, which I should have gone a lot earlier, I went to a counselor. I got put on medication, and I realized that the number one thing that I need to do was rest and really find what was right for me. I had never had a month of rest. As an athlete, you're always grinding. You never have time off, especially swimmers, because there is no off season. I had never had more than probably 3 weeks of just time to myself. And what I learned is that there's a difference between soul rest and there's a difference between vacation rest. And what I was seeking was, and what I had known was vacation rest, and what I needed was soul rest. I needed to stop everything that was going on in my life. I needed to press pause. I needed to reassess my priorities. And I had known Ryan, and I had talked with him going into my senior year about how to just kind of stay in the moment and enjoy swimming for what it is, because I won't have it forever. And I was living in Miami at the time when I quit my job and decided that I needed to just press pause on everything. And I moved back to Atlanta to be closer to family and reassess my life and just sort everything out. And I reached out to him and I was like, hey, I know you're involved in this whole mission. I would love to be connected to other athletes in the area.
I can't hear Britt.
Do you mind connecting me with Darryll? Can you hear me? No? Okay. So he set up a meeting, was like, hey, let's go meet Darryll at Waffle House. And I showed up, I met Darryll. And at that point, I had already gone through a lot of counseling. I had been on medication for a while, and I was more in the place of I wanted to help others, because I knew that my feelings were not irrational. And I knew that I was not the only one that was feeling what I was feeling. And that's when I got involved with Second Chance Athletes and helping the social. And since there, it's really just been ground running. And I just think this book is going to help so many people discover what they need in their life, and to really press pause, to really stop chasing that next high, and to find themselves. And that's what I needed. I needed to find myself without sport. I needed to find myself without this new high of starting off a career. And I needed to be okay with just who I was. So yeah, I think Darryll will pop back on in a minute. But I have been working with Darryll. I met Darryll probably right before COVID hit, and I have been working with him, and he's been kind of mentoring me through the steps and the process that he has laid out for athletes. And it really kind of freed me and allowed me to kind of think about my priorities. I mean, I had already been going to a counselor, but it helped me look at things from a new perspective of what I wanted to be doing. Because at that time I didn't have a job, and I was really like, do I want to go down the profession that I got my degree in, even though the first job that I had with it wasn't necessarily what I wanted to be doing? Do I want to go the nonprofit route? Do I want to keep working in social media, which is what I've been helping Darryll with? I really didn't know what I wanted to be doing. And of course, there was that gap period of trying to find my identity, but also knowing that eventually I would have to find a job and what was going to bring me fulfillment. So seeing his plan and seeing the processes and the steps and the stages, even though I was already kind of going through it with Darryll was something that really helped me, because one, it let me get back to who I was, and it always led to who I was, and in that ground, that base, that foundation. Who am I? What is my identity? Detached from sport, detached from a job, a career, detached from who I've been known as, because as athletes, you always are presented as, oh, I'm a swimmer. I swim at the University of Miami. So I had never really known something detached from either being a student athlete, or once you graduate college, it's like, oh, what do you do? Chase that new high. Oh, I work in public relations. And, it's still a thing today, like no matter what you do, but to really find yourself and be confident with, oh, I'm a daughter of Christ. Or fill in the blank to whatever your identity is. And seeing those steps and going through and working through that process with him was just eye-opening. And I know that it really helped me, and it can help other people. And I would say since I moved home, since I figured out what I needed to do, since I've worked with Darryll, when I was having anxiety and when I was in the midst of it, I would say it probably was 90 to 95% consuming my life. I just couldn't get through life. Like if I wouldn't have reached out at the time I did and gotten that help, I don't know that I would be sitting here. It was just so bad to the point where I couldn't imagine one more day. But now I would say I'm probably experiencing minimal 5% anxiety. So my word of encouragement to those athletes going through it right now, you're never alone. You're never walking in this alone. It's okay to not be okay, but it's not okay to stay where you are. And we're here for you. And go get Darryll's book, because it's going to be amazing. And it's really going to help you figure out yourself and your identity and who you are. And yeah.
Yay. I wanted to just pop on. Darryll is like a small technical difficulty, but I just wanted to say that you're incredible. And I know, man, he's so thankful for you. Like 1,000 times more than we could ever articulate. Like, you have been incredible and just like keeping the brand moving forward, getting it in front of people. Exposure is so huge to get the message out there. So thank you so much. And we're just really grateful for you. So thank you.
Of course. Thank you for having me. I'm so grateful for you guys too. Keep crushing it.
Thank you. Hey, Dominic.
Hi.
Hey, it's good to see you both.
Hey, I am Darryll's wife, Brittany.
Of course. How could I not know that by now?
So he is going to be back on in a second because, oh, there you are. I am Darryll's wife, Brittany.
He's getting back.
Can you tell us who you are and what you do and why this message is so important to you and what it is that you do?
For sure. So first and foremost, I want to start by saying, thank you so much for having me onto this. This was super exciting to be able to see Darryll have this book launch party. I've had so much fun over the last hour or so, and what he's doing is absolutely incredible. I ended up going to the University of Wyoming where I played football, and I devoted my life to sport of the game of football since I was the age of 2. That's all I ever known. That was like my identity that was wrapped around it. I was a kid that was sleeping with my football. Teacher would say, "Hey, what do you want to be when you grow up?" I say, "Well, I want to be NFL." They say, "All right, be realistic." I'm like, "Well, that is realistic." Those types of things, right? I ended up having a pretty successful career at the University of Wyoming. And I love the University of Wyoming because it helped me find Christ in my life. And Christ is number one thing in my life. So grateful, especially as an athlete. We know how challenging times can be going through that struggle of being an athlete. There was a tough time when I was starting my freshman year when I really wanted to just end my life because I was just so depressed from, the weight of the world being on my shoulders, being in a different environment, having to go to 2-a-days school. All of these things add up as a 17-year-old kid that comes onto campus. It was just really challenging. And the reason I bring a lot of this stuff up is because as athletes, we learn so much through the process, right? We learn self-discipline, we learn grit, we learn adversity, we learn trials, we learn tribulations. And all of these things help us then make that transition into life after sport. But a lot of times athletes don't see that they've created all these tangibles for themselves while they're playing. They just think at the end of their time, it's like, well, I have nothing to offer because I'm no longer playing my sport. But, kind of fast forwarding a little bit, because of my career, and I had a pretty successful one in Wyoming, I ended up getting an opportunity to play in the NFL. 2015, I was at camp with the Atlanta Falcons. 2016, I was played some indoor arena ball. I'm in Nebraska. 2017, right around that time, 2016, 2017, I decided to kind of, in the teeter-totter stage of should I continue to play football, should I not? I ended up pursuing rugby, ended up playing, I went to camp with Team USA for rugby. So I had a really, really successful athletic career. But I finally made a decision. You know what, like my body's broken, my bank account's broken. Like I need to make a decision on what I want to do. Do I keep pursuing what I'm doing or do I let it go? And through that process, I decided to hang up the cleats. And I was always the guy and the individual that said, when I'm done with sports, I'm going to have it all together. Like I'm that guy where I got the business degree. I'm personally developed. I've been reading books since I was, a little kid. Like I had this entrepreneur mindset, like I'm going to do just fine. And I would kind of laugh and chuckle at other athletes that were like, yeah, you know what? I struggled when I was done playing. They're like in their 30, 35. Yeah, I struggled when I was done transitioning with sports. And I was like, well, that won't be me. Out of nowhere, when I was done and I hung up the cleats, it just hit me like a ton of bricks. And I realized that I literally had my entire world wrapped up around this sport. That was where my identity was since I was 2. And I didn't know anything else. Because of that, I really struggled with depression, anxiety, self-worthiness. I was unconfident. And the real reason is because when you're playing a ball and you're an athlete and you're on top of your pinnacle and everybody loves you, everybody knows who you are, everybody's calling your name, and that feels good. You're getting that reinforcements that you're doing something of significance. And then what ends up happening is you no longer are in that position. And then people no longer care. People aren't asking you what you're up to. People aren't saying, hey, congrats. People aren't reaching out to you in your DMs anymore, congratulating you. And all of these things add up and they start weighing on you. And you no longer feel significant. You no longer feel worthy. You no longer feel like you're adding value back to the world. So therefore, you just have to, you just become small in the mindset of an athlete when they're transitioning, because they're like, well, I have nothing left to offer the world. So through that process, I had to go through a lot of self-discovery, kind of like Darryll did. And I had to go through finding out what my purpose is in life. I had to heal. Healing was a super important thing for me. And through that process, I was able to come to the conclusion that, you know what, I really want to be able to share my story and I want to be able to help other athletes make a transition through life after sport. And that was the main reason why I started my podcast, which is called The Game Goes On. And I've interviewed, tons of other athletes and asking these questions of like, hey, where did you go to school? What sport did you play? Did you always want to be a professional since you were a little kid? What was your story? Did you have those depression? Did you have the anxiety? And then how did you make that transition from your sport to life after sports? And almost 99.9% of the time, I ask that question to people where I say, it's kind of like what Darryll mentioned at the beginning. It was like, ask the questions like, if somebody were to write you a contract today and say, hey, I will put you on an NFL team, I will make you an Olympic sport athlete. If I can make you at the pinnacle again, would you take it? And all these athletes say, no, they would not. But the crazy part is to think in that moment when you're making the transition, you never, ever would have believed you would be at that place of contentment of like, I no longer want my sport anymore, because you were so used to their sport being that one thing that you devoted your life to. And so that was just kind of, this aha epiphany that there are so many athletes who need this. There's so many athletes who really just need some guidance, a mentor, someone to walk them through, because I know I didn't have that when I was going through college. I know I didn't have that afterwards. And so for me now, I have two kind of gigs that I'm kind of converting into one. I'm a content creator. I'm an influencer on LinkedIn. I have my podcast. And what I'm doing is I'm speaking to universities, to athletes, and about this message. And then I'm also a wealth coach where I teach people about money. And so I use the idea of transitioning, right, with my story, and then also some basic principles, and also talk about how important it is to manage your money through that transition as well. So those are kind of the things I'm up to, and kind of where my passion lies, and like why it was so important to me to kind of want to share the vision and kind of be on here. So Darryll, I really appreciate you for having me, man.
Man, I appreciate it, bro. And I have to just say, man, I'm glad you can make it pivot, man. Like me and I'm just connected through Caleb. The connection here, y'all, is I had went to a mastermind high ticket event, and I was like, man, this little kid is just rolling around here. I think he's lost. and then I'm looking, and then like I go into the session, and this little kid is not a little kid, man. This guy is owner of a company called Better Wealth. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And it's Caleb Gilliams, and this guy is phenomenally brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
And he not only was not a little kid, he had an assistant with him.
Morale, yep.
And I started to talk to him, and he's just phenomenal. And so we just hit it off, and he started coaching me through finances. And then he said, man, when your book comes out, man, I'll promote it. I just believe in you, your message, and all this stuff. And then, here we are. And then he says, man, you got to connect with Dominic. Like he's doing similar things. And he just spoke very highly of you, man. And let me just say, if Caleb speaks highly of you, that's a big statement, because that dude is like a kid. I remember coming back from that mastermind. I was like, I think I just met like a kid genius, man.
Yeah, no, he really is. So when I first met him too, I was just like, all right, you can't have a podcast, have a book, speaking all over the country right now, and you're only 23 years old. I was like, and you look like you're 12. I was like, all right, something's wrong here. What's going on? So yeah, no, he's an amazing human being and believer in Christ as well. And he's definitely out there wanting to serve just like you are, man. So great people connect with great people.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You guys go check out Dominic's podcast. And Dominic, man, I just say this, man, man, from what I could see about your story and just hearing what I could when we weren't having technical issues, man, I just say, man, the future is very bright, bro. And this industry of transition is very underserved, and we need more men and women like yourself who can carry the torch. It's not easy. A lot of people think it's like you work with athletes and you're gonna have millions and millions of dollars because they have big salaries, but we're helping people who are hurting, who are struggling, as you know. And so, man, I just thank you for being a part of it, sharing your message. Can't wait to listen to your podcast, and I'd love to have you on ours as well, to share more of a full version of your story, man. So I just really appreciate you hanging out tonight. Love your spirit, man, and any way that we can support you in your journey, let us know.
Thanks, brother. I really appreciate that, and I can't wait for that. And then hopefully you can come be on mine as well, and I'd love to hear more about yours and more in depth. And yeah, brother, let's obviously keep staying in touch. You're doing awesome things.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it, man. You guys show Dominic some love in the chat, guys. I know that it's probably family time at this point. If you guys want to start bringing my family on, Dominic, thank you again for joining us. Thank you for your patience as well throughout the night, man. If you have not yet purchased your copy of the book, I want to encourage you, go over to secondchanceathletes.com, purchase your copy of the book. We've got some amazing book bonuses for you. You get access to the first 5 modules of my Purpose Made Profitable course. You get access to the ebook. You get access to all of these interviews that we've been doing with experts, former athletes, content creators, you name it. You get access to all of the goodies that are listed there at secondchanceathletes.com. And most importantly, you support inner city youth sports. 100% of the proceeds within the first week are going to support any inner city youth programs. Guys, is my family on? I'd love to bring them on at this point. Thank you for putting that on the screen. I know I saw my grandma. There's my cousin, Chaz. What's up, man? He's like a brother to me. I don't know who the blank screen is. Somebody looking at the top of the ceiling. That's my grandma. Hey, grandma.
I think they're trying to bring me on, but
There's
it's
my father. Brittany, did you figure it out?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there we go.
You want to switch?
There we go. Where's my mom?
Taking care of business.
She's still finishing up her
She'll
house.
be on.
Okay, she coming. Well, let's kick it off with my dad. Let's do
Yes.
that. Dad, I'd love for you to share just your story about sports and kind of how I got involved and whatever else you want to share. And then Brittany's gonna come. I look at my dad frozen. Dad, you froze? He's frozen.
Can anyone hear?
Look, you got to fix your internet, man. You stay out there in the boondocks. So, anyways, we're gonna go to Chaz. Tell my dad to fix his internet, man. What's up, cuz?
Can everyone hear?
Yeah, we can hear you just fine, man.
Oh.
Hey, tell a little bit about your story, man. Tell about how you like my brother, bro, and how we went to college together, and some other things. And I'm gonna switch Brittany spots. All right?
Yeah.
You got the floor.
So my name is Charles Stinson. Girls. He's like a brother to me. We grew up together, started from 8 to 12 and 4. Darryll Stinson as well. And you see on the camera, find the girl's mom. Played a part of raising me, my father, other people. But Darryll and I got into at a young age. I'm more so participating in track and field, and ended up earning a scholarship to Central Michigan University. Darryll accepted his scholarship to Central Michigan University as well and played football. So I ran track and had the honors and opportunity to participate in collegiate sports with Darryll. And I just pretty much ended up, having the opportunity to participate in collegiate sports. It was raised with Darryll. Any other questions that you want me to? Topics you want me
to? He said, "Any other questions?" Hey, there's my mom. What's up? No, good job, bro. Yeah, that's my cousin, man.
Look, I found 2 more people.
Y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
My sisters.
I'm calling Ashley.
I'm hungry, man. I've been doing live stream all day. Anyways, y'all, I tell people this, okay? I said 10 years from now, I'm not gonna remember big influencers that I brought on, famous athletes that could have spoke. I'm gonna remember my family, who's always been there for me, and that means more to me than anything. So whenever my dad get done working with his bootleg internet out there in Chelsea, we'll figure it out. Look at him. He look all mad. If you haven't, comment. Oh, who's here? Like, I see 23 people at least on, and drop me some love in the comments, man. Like, did y'all get your book? Did you get the bonuses? Well, you will get the bonuses. I see Sandra here, Tabitha here. Thank you for the congratulations. I see Brandis here. I don't even know who that is. But hi. I see Julie here. Thank you so much for supporting the book launch. I see. I can't even scroll up anymore. Why doesn't it let me scroll up on all the comments? Well, people popping in and out all night long. Whatever. So, anyways, who else? Who's on? Who can talk? My dad frozen. Mom, are you frozen?
No, I'm not frozen.
Hi, Mom.
Hi.
Hey,
Yes.
I'm gonna rub this in my dad's face. You would have never guessed that he'd be the one that can't figure out how to join online, man. He's supposed to be. I'm gonna make fun of him. He ain't gonna let this one down. So, Mom, you got the floor now.
Oh, whoa.
I know.
Okay. So I got the floor. Okay. Well, what you want me to say?
Oh, I don't know. Tell people how I was as a kid. Tell them how
you were as a kid.
Didn't listen to you. I got all good grades. I was a good kid. I never did anything wrong.
Well, let her tell a story.
I'm your favorite child.
Right? It's a little bit different, isn't it, Mom? No, I don't have any favorites.
I love you.
No favorites. Okay, D. Let's see. As a child under 5, you was crybaby, and a mama's boy. My firstborn, so I spoiled you to death, carried you everywhere. On my hip, cooked with you, everything. Couldn't even put you down. Kind of broke you when you went to stay with Mom for when I was on break from school, because that was always a good thing, because Mom was always there to pick up the slack anytime. So but once after you were 5 and you started to get a little bit older, I just kind of tried to keep you in sports, because video games at that time was a very big deal. And I seen a lot of kids like getting mad at their parents because they couldn't play the video game. And I think I took yours from you when you got mad. But you always had your dad, because you can go over your dad's house and play video games at your dad's house. But that was enough, I thought. It was enough for you to just play over there. So, but I was more interested in keeping you busy, making sure that you didn't get in any trouble around you. So I just enrolled you in any kind of sports. We did soccer. That was a blast right there. Soccer, I remember you swinging from the goalpost and they were scoring on you. You did baseball. Don't forget baseball. Remember baseball? You did baseball. There's a lot of strikeouts, but you got your couple hits in, though. And then once you got old enough, always kept you in the recreation basketball and stuff like that, because it just kind of kept you busy. And the busier you were, the more concentrated, you were on your work, and you had stuff to do. So it kept you focused, and it kept you out of trouble. So no, you still hard-headed, but I broke you with that round. Yeah, hard-headed. You got a lot of spankings, remember? I believe the spankings, but I was a kind of a single parent. Me and your dad were both raising you, and and your grandma. So it's kind of extended family. It took a village, kind of, to raise you. Had a lot of people on both sides that was there to support you. We had a lot of fun going to a lot of your games, because you had games everywhere. We were in Indiana. We went to Las Vegas a couple times for basketball. It was like a family trip for us. And and then you went to college, and that was just a trip to Mount Pleasant to go see you play. So when it was all over, we were kind of heartbroken. But and when I look back on that, I never even realized actually what you were going through, and how that probably was maybe a little bit of pressure for you. So.
Right.
But we enjoyed it, though. Watching you play and chase your daddy dream over there.
My daddy dream.
Look, he keep coming in and out. Catch his records. Yeah, remember, Mom? He was trying to catch his records and stuff in high school, and you trying to beat his record all in high school. Did you ever beat his record in high school? I don't think you did you?
No.
All right. I'm gonna come back to you. Do you have to go, Mom, or are you gonna hang out?
I'm gonna hang out for a minute, but you know what I'm doing. But yes, I'm gonna hang out for Yep, for about another 15, 20 minutes. Yes.
Okay, perfect. That works. So I'm coming to my grandmother.
Yes.
Mother.
Where's
Yes,
Bree?
grandson.
Where's Brienne?
Shut it over.
She's at home.
Oh, okay. Anyways, tell something that people need to know about me.
You know what's been on my heart is the time your mama called me and told me you was in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, Mom, Darryl's in the hospital. And she said he's talking about running off the road. And you were just broken. And all she said, she got you there. And I said, I'm on my way. And I just can't remember the time that I just can hear you I walked in the room and you were just crying. You couldn't stop crying. I never seen you cry like that. And all I could do is lay on your chest and say yes. Say yes. And you did. You said yes.
Mm-hmm.
And you've been working for the Lord ever since.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to know I am proud of you. You have accomplished a lot. And you do things for people. So you an encouragement for some. God put you through a thing so you can set an example. So I just want you to know that I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Mom, I'd love for you to talk about that season or that night from your perspective. I'll be telling the story wrong all the time. It's probably wrong in the book.
You
I do. I'll be forgetting. I think it's the concussions.
Yeah.
My mom's perspective is probably more accurate, y'all. So go get the book. You can hear my side of things after concussion. So
Yeah, I just think we all see, when it comes to that, we all have our things that we remember the most about that day. It's always hard for me to talk about that day, but the main thing I remember about that day is me telling you to come home. And I was scared to death because I could kind of hear something in your voice that I had never heard before. And I didn't know what else to do, but something told me just to tell you to come home. And you were 80 miles away. But you was coming towards my house anyway, but even though you were 80 miles away. So when you got there, I remember the girls were trying to figure out what is going on, because you were crying. You never stopped crying. You cried the whole time. There was nothing I could do to console you. That was the first time I was just never. It was nothing I could say. It was nothing I could do. I felt hopeless. And I was scared. So I kept debating with myself, should I take him to the hospital? Should I not take him to the hospital? So then I decided, okay, I need to take him to the hospital, because you had kind of spoke the words to me, like you didn't want to live. And I was like, okay, this is out of your control. You got to take him somewhere, get him some help. So I took you to the hospital, and I remember you walking in, and you had your hands over your face. You weren't even looking at nothing. I don't even know how you got in there really, because I was kind of dragging you by the arm, and I was hoping that you wouldn't fall because there was no way I was going to be able to pick you up. So we got in there, and there was this lady that was sitting at the front. She was just an intake nurse, just to get your little information or whatever. And she said to me, she was like, "What's going on with him?" And I told her whatever, and she said, "No, she said that's not true." She said, "The devil is a lie." And I was like, at this particular point, I think I'm kind of crying, because I was trying to be strong the whole time, because I didn't want to break down. So they led him to the back to, a different part of the hospital. They did some numbers and, trying to do some stuff with him, but he was still just crying unconsolably. half an hour
And I got you.
after I called
Mama,
everybody.
Mama, is she breaking up for y'all too?
Yes.
And
Mom,
then the lady. Oh,
you breaking up?
Is my reception getting bad?
A little bit. I don't know if you're walking or something.
Be still.
She said, "Be still."
Okay. So y'all missed my story. Okay. So where was I at? Okay.
We heard you.
Oh,
It just started breaking up like towards the last couple seconds.
Oh, okay. Okay. So anyway, the lady from the front that worked in the front and wasn't supposed to be in the back, all of a sudden she comes back there and she says to me, she said, can I just talk to him for a minute? She says, I'm not even supposed to be back here. I don't want to get in trouble or nothing, but can I just speak to him? And I said, yeah, that's fine or whatever. And so she goes in there and we kind of stepped out, but she was in there, she was praying over him. She said God did not want, told her to come back there, and that this was not the place that he was supposed to be. He had great things in store for him, and whatever was going on, he was about to get through it. All he needed to do was just say, yes to God. And she was in there for a little while praying for him. And after she left, my mom started to pray over him again, because when she got there, she started praying over him. And she said, my mom said, just say yes, tell him yes, and he just screamed out and he said yes. And I remember me and his dad was in the hallway and we was just like, we just kind of looked at each other, because we didn't know really what was going on. But from that moment on, he was trying to get up out of there. I will tell you that. He was like, I'm healed, I'm good, like a temporary moment. But they wouldn't let him go. They did. He talked his way out of getting there the next day, and he was actually supposed to be there for a couple of days because just for his safety sakes. But I do believe at that moment, though, and I mean, he's like, you never look back. Like, it was really in that moment that we all witnessed that you changed your life around, and from then on out, you were seeking something different. It wasn't sports. It wasn't attention. It wasn't easy. I know it's always been a struggle, and it's it still is. But you just never look back since that moment. And me, your dad, your grandma, we were all there, to witness that. So that's something that kind of sticks with me like all the time. Just I was there to witness something like that. So.
Love it.
Your dad is here creatively.
I see him.
Hey, I said I ain't never let you this one go. He be the first one to make fun of somebody internet, call it janky, call somebody shit. And now, I can't hear him, Britt. Is he talking? Look, it still ain't working.
He was there the whole time.
Look, he need to give it up. Anyways,
He comes back. Your sisters are here too.
Hey, sisters. They don't want to say nothing. Are you gonna say something?
I don't know, Brittany.
We can
Baby D. That's my little brother.
She said, yeah. Well, Stacey can't see me on her screen. Oh, okay.
Dad, we can see you, Dad.
Oh, you can see?
Yeah.
This is all we got, man. I got 3 bars on the Wi-Fi, 3 bars on the internet connection, and I cannot. That app keeps cutting me off.
Well, say what you got to say before your service keep messing up. Man.
I gotta say I'm proud of you. It's been a journey from the time you was running around at CMU, watching me grow up and do my thing, to where now I'm watching you grow up and do your thing. But I'm proud is not even a word. I can't even describe everything. It's the growth that I seen you go through. Okay, and so that you grew in size, right? And then you start catching up with me in height, and then you had growth in your academics to where I used to help you with your homework, and then I couldn't help you with your homework anymore because you were taking classes that were too advanced for me and my knowledge. And then I seen you grow spiritually, and excel in that. Then I seen you grow as a man, and now I'm at a point to where I'm like, all right, I did all I could to help you grow, and now you're doing beyond my expectations and past my beliefs, and it's just been an incredible journey, and I'm proud of you, and it's crazy. You just cease to amaze me. The whole book launch, the whole Second Chance Athletes, plus all the ministry stuff that you do. So I'm just so proud and grateful that I got a kid that took this route in life. And my only question is, what's next?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, part of what's next is selling, making this book a bestseller, so that it can get to the most people in the world, licensing people on our process, people like Dominique, to be able to facilitate it around the world, gifting scholarships for athletes to go back to school, continue Elder Mike's legacy in helping inner city youth programs to thrive and succeed and continue to do the good work they're doing in the programs. And my goal is to write 19 more books. So 20 total is what I have left in me. So you guys got to wait to hear about some of those other books. But right now, go and buy this book. You can go to secondchanceathletes.com. And when you buy the book today, you get access to all the bonuses. So everybody's got $15, $20 on Amazon. Go purchase the book. You get access to the first 5 lessons of the Purpose Made Profitable course. You get access to the ebook. You get access to all of these lives. And I always forget one more. What am I missing, Britt? Oh, my exclusive interview with David Meltzer, top business coach. And you get to hear, I said this, I watch a lot of David Meltzer videos. And when I interviewed him for this podcast, I'm telling you, it's like one of the best interviews. Like, in my opinion, right? In my opinion, I'm not just being biased. So you guys are going to want to get access to those bonus materials. Who else hasn't said anything? Has everybody said anything? My sisters don't want to say anything. Oh,
Coco and Ashley.
they don't want to say nothing. Bree's not here.
Well, they wanted me to come over, but it was too dark.
Your dad has a question.
Oh, yes, Dad.
So you're saying, so I got a bunch of friends that might be watching or whatever. I got some that I want to relay this information to. So, but today is the last day to get all those bonuses. It got to be today.
No. You just gotta say today for urgency's sake. I don't know, Amber. Amber's my behind the scenes person. They know how long the bonuses last. I don't know. They just said, "Hey, Darryll, what bonuses do you want to give away for your book?" And I'm like, "Well, I got this, and 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 I got this." And they're like, "Okay, we think this. So they can let you know how long the bonuses will last. But don't wait. Procrastination kills dreams.
I just want to say, man, by the time I get a hold of some of my friends, it'll take a day or two before I catch up with everybody. You know, I got a lot of friends that support you, you know that, over the years. And I know they don't want to purchase the book, so I just want to get an opportunity for it just not to end tonight and they miss out.
Got you. Amber says, we'll keep your bonuses available for the first few days. Smiley face. So you got a couple of days.
Okay.
So if you're watching this tomorrow, you got 2 days left. If you're watching this the day after that, you got 1 day left. If you're watching this the day after that, you out of time for the bonuses. You just got to get the book. And by the way, the book is good enough. Like the bonuses is just act fast bonuses, right? So anyways, thank you. Appreciate you sharing. I know we got some of your friends coming on, some of the people you played with coming on, and we get to ask them who was a better athlete. So there we go. Anybody else want to? I know Britt, you probably want to say something.
Look at his
Where's
face.
Stacy? She want to say something? Baby D? Anybody else?
She
got
got here, but we should see. We already know who the best athlete was. It was all of us because we all was on that field. We just say who's the one best. We was the best as a team. So I know they'll feel.
So modest.
We had control, man. We had #1 defense in the nation for standing as a school. So we did that together. It wasn't no one person.
Yeah.
There's some beef. There's some beef for y'all.
I was the best cook.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, of course, Gemma.
That's present.
I'm getting tagged all on social media. I'm listening to y'all though.
I might be one of the best eaters too.
Yeah, you are.
The best what?
Eater.
Oh
What-
yeah, for sure. No,
What methods of payment do you accept to purchase the book? Multiples of thousands. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, you can purchase on Amazon. Amazon. Amazon.
We have to go through Amazon. I can't do a Cash App.
Oh, that's
I'll be
funny right
laughing
there,
at my
boy.
mama.
Don't say hi.
That is funny right there. Is that my little brother?
Yeah, here you come.
Baby D. Where's my girl?
5 copies. 5 copies.
Excellent.
5 copies. That's all you getting, Chaz? Is 5?
Yeah, to start with. If you can,
Y'all,
I need 5 copies.
Okay, I got you. Just make sure that when you purchase the book, it's going to send you a notification and say, thank you for purchasing the book. Once you get it, go on Amazon, leave a review because that helps the rankings and it helps people to be able to find the book easier. And it also shows people that the book matters and is impacting lives. So really appreciate that. I'm going to throw that out there right now. What else? We got a couple of... What'd you say? What's up, baby D? This is my little brother, y'all. He's next.
Look at that, just like his dad.
How can I borrow a book?
You want to borrow a book?
No, you want to buy.
Oh, buy a book.
Where's your money?
Tell him.
I know how to read.
I need to see you, man.
Hey, I have a competition since we're all athletes.
What's that?
Who can buy the most books?
Oh, good one.
I'll start with the bid for 10 books.
$10.
Oh,
Chaz got 10.
So I need someone to top that. I need someone to top 10.
Comment.
Here come another one.
Oh my gosh, she is so cute.
Say hi.
Hi, Stace.
We love you.
Say hi.
Thank you. Oh my gosh.
Night night, big brother.
That's my little sister. Oh, she's cute. Look at that little face. I can't see her. Stop shaking the camera. Oh, hey. Hey, Taylor. Hey, this is going to be an awkward transition into Pastor Travis sharing the message. Go from us to Goo Goo Gaga. He got a hard work cut out for him. Have you seen him? Is he on? Oh, there he is. He's coming. Let's bring. Hey, Pastor.
Hey, guys.
Brought you on. Hey.
Hey, Pastor.
Y'all.
Hello.
This is my pastor. Hey.
Pastor Travis.
Hey, everybody. What's up, man? Long time no see.
I'm gonna win a contest on how many books I buy, plus how many people that I have personally buy from my network.
Bet.
Well, him and Chaz got a whole contest going
No,
on.
I do this for a living. I'm good at this.
Well, we're only way to see. Chaz been saying, he gonna cheat though, man. He been making a lot of money. He's just gonna keep buying them himself.
Gotta go finish. Moving.
Love you, Mom. Love you. Thank you.
I want a public announcement when I win. I want it.
All right, public announcement. We got you. All right, Dad. Love you.
All right, love
Great. Do you want to say anything? Oh, she's gone. Where's she at?
You.
Yes. Are you supposed to introduce? You're supposed to introduce Pastor Travis. You know that, right?
I can do both.
All right. Pastor, thank you for coming on, sharing. Guys, I wanted
pastor to share with me. He was the first one to, well, besides Elder Mike, I would say, to see purpose in me besides sports. And obviously my family always knew it, but he was the first voice that spoke to me on a spiritual level, where it resonated something deep. And I want you guys to be exposed to his voice. And I know he's got a podcast that just launched. I'm going to bring him on a live at a later date so you guys can go support that. It's phenomenal, Transformational Truths with Travis. But I just want to say, Pastor, thank you for your support. And I told everybody that this is what I will remember for 10 years from now. I said, I'm going to write bestsellers and all that stuff and connect with some powerful people in the world and some influential people. But it's family that's most important. It's the people that supported me and helped me keep going when I wanted to give up so many times. And so I know I said I want him to talk about being destined for greatness, but knowing him, he got something up his sleeve. So I'll be quiet.
You just said the line. You have to do the rap now.
Did I?
Yeah, destined for greatness. That's in the rap.
No, it's not. He said it's created for greatness. That's what you get. You got to memorize the rap. I'll do it. Maybe I'll do it later at the end. By the way, y'all, if you stay all the way to the end, I might have some special bonuses for you. You never know. All right, Britt, I'm being quiet. Go ahead.
So, well, put your face back on there. We want to see you.
Oh, you want my face?
Yes.
Okay.
I just want to tell you that I'm super, super proud of you. And I remember waking up in the middle of the night like 3 years ago, and you weren't back, and you had stayed at Waffle House all night working on this book. And back then it was like just a small ebook, and it fit. We printed it out, and it literally just fit like across one wall, and we edited it in like 2 hours. And it's become so much more since then.
Good job.
Ava says good job.
Oh, thank you, baby.
And so I just want to say I'm super proud of you. And then Pastor, as an intro for you, honestly, like there would be no book, there would be no Darryll and I, there would be no Second Chance Athletes. Sure. She's coming to give you a kiss.
So sweet.
We are here because you and Pastor Tina have, and it says it in the book, have literally prayed us through. And so we're just so grateful for you. And it's fitting that you jumped in the midst of family time because your family, and this is like just the perfect way to end this live. So, let me give the details. So, Pastor Travis is lead pastor at Life Church International in Duluth, Georgia, lifechurchatl.com. He just launched a podcast last Tuesday. It's called Transformational Truths with Pastor Travis Hall. You can find it on anywhere that podcasts play. And he has been our spiritual father for at least 8 years now, our pastor for a long, long time. And most things you hear us say, if they are any meaning at all, we heard them from him or Pastor Tina. So with that, I will mute myself. Thanks, Pastor.
Thanks, Brittany. And thanks, Darryll. Proud of you guys and super honored to be a part of your night. Hi, Ava. I met Darryll on Sunday, March 20th, 2011. That was Darryll's first Sunday coming to the church I pastored at that time, Faith Community Church, with my wife, Tina. And he came in on a Sunday morning with some friends. And that was the first of many times talking with Darryll and meeting with Darryll. And I was thinking about Darryll today. I was thinking about how we met. I was thinking about that first Sunday in church. And I remember that first Sunday meeting him, he was a little apprehensive. But when I met Darryll, he was in pain. I remember him walking across the parking lot of the church, which was really a shared parking lot. It was just a small storefront church. And sometimes he would walk in with a limp. And I would ask him if he's okay. And Darryll would always try to play down the pain that he was in. He would just say, oh, it's just my back. It's just something with my back. And that went on for a while. And as time went on, it became obvious that Darryll was in a lot of physical pain. And as I got to know Darryll better, it was obvious he was in more than just physical pain. There was pain in his heart. And as I prayed about sharing tonight, the Lord led me to Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 2. I'm going to read it for you. I want to talk for a few minutes about pain because I've discovered that it is impossible to ever expect to give birth to any kind of purpose or destiny in your life without walking through some sort of pain. The Bible says that we're to fix our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of our faith. For the joy set before him, he endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. The truth is that pain is inescapable. No matter how hard we try, we can't escape pain. And we sort of live in a culture that works really hard to insulate ourselves from pain. But no matter how hard we try, it finds us. I've discovered in my own life personally that trying to live my life to avoid pain is an exercise in futility. Our time would be much better spent learning how to perceive pain than it would be running from pain, because not all pain is created equal. There's the kind of pain that tells us, hey, something's wrong, pay attention. But there's another kind of pain that's good. There's a kind of pain that says something is changing inside of us. We all grew up with pain. We called them growing pains. At the time, it was no big deal. We just were told to expect it because we're growing. And then, of course, there's another kind of pain that's really good. When I was thinking about tonight, I was thinking about birthing pains, of course. I've been blessed with 5 children, and I got to watch all of them be born. And the pain that their mother felt was real. It was birthing pain. But it wasn't the same kind of pain that said something's wrong. It was the kind of pain that said something's right. And I discovered that the way we perceive pain will ultimately determine what we take from pain. A pregnant woman anticipates pain. She knows it's coming, but she also knows that what's coming afterwards is going to make the pain worth it. As a matter of fact, what's interesting about birth is that it will be so worth it that the joy of the results will eventually eclipse the pain that it took to get them. But I think we've all got to decide before the pain arrives whether or not we're a person of destiny or we're a person of desolation. Does everything happen to me, or does everything happen for me? And I think that's a question we've got to be able to ask ourselves, because the question is not, will pain come? The question is, when it comes, how are we going to perceive it? Because how we perceive it will determine what we take from it. The Bible says in the book of Ephesians that every human being alive was created with incredible purpose, with destiny on the inside of us. In fact, it says that we were created for good works that God prepared for us long ago. That's what we call destiny. That's what we call purpose. Now, here's what that means. Whether you realize it or don't, whether you are a man or a woman, spiritually, everybody that's watching this is pregnant with destiny. God created you with seeds of greatness inside of you. That is a non-negotiable spiritual fact. And so I think if it's true that we're all pregnant with destiny, there's a few things that we all should probably know about pain. So I want to share a few things with you before Darryll comes back on. The first thing I think we all need to know about pain is that pain is proof that we're pregnant with destiny. There was a man in the Bible named Joseph, and the scripture says that God gave him a dream, a God-ordained dream, that he was going to be the ruler of a kingdom. But when he shared his dream, it resulted in the jealousy of his brothers. The Bible says that his brothers betrayed him. They sold him into slavery. From there, Joseph was slandered. He was falsely accused. He was thrown into prison. Every time it looked like maybe the dream was getting ready to come to pass, he was knocked back down a few notches. And it looked pretty hopeless. And he went through this for about 14 years while he waited for the dream that God gave him to come to pass. But all of these things, in the end, only served as birth pains because Joseph was pregnant with destiny. And what I love about the story of Joseph is that nothing anybody could do could stop what God placed on the inside of him from coming to fruition. He was destined for it. No matter how hard the enemy tries, he cannot ultimately prevent God's plan and purpose for our lives from coming to pass. Sometimes when we're in the middle of pain, we feel like what God put in our heart will never happen. I think what's worse than that is when we're going through pain and looking at the clock and the calendar. We feel like we're losing time, and we feel like we're getting older, and we start comparing ourselves to other people who maybe are younger than us, maybe even less experienced than us, but they seem to be getting further ahead quicker. But I want to tell somebody tonight that's watching this that regardless of your age, regardless of how long you've been waiting, regardless of how hard the pain is that you're facing right now feels like to endure, I need to tell you that God hasn't forgotten about the destiny that he planted on the inside of your soul. It's still there. And just like Joseph, there's absolutely nothing the enemy can do to stop you from giving birth to your destiny. You see, pain is proof that you're pregnant with destiny. When you decide that this pain isn't something happening to you, but it's happening for you. So I think that's the first thing we need to recognize about pain. And every time we encounter pain, remind ourselves, this pain is for me. God's using this for me. This is evidence that I'm pregnant with destiny. Spiritually, I'm pregnant with greatness. And I just haven't given birth to my book yet. I haven't given birth to my business yet, my ministry yet. I haven't given birth to my education yet, or the dreams that God put in my heart for my family. I think the key word is yet. You haven't given birth yet, but the pain is proof that labor has started. That's the first thing I think we need to know about pain. The second thing we need to know about pain as it pertains to destiny and greatness is that pain increases your capacity for destiny. Pain increases your capacity for destiny. The pain of labor physically is literally the body making room for something that's coming. Watch this. Before destiny is born, room has to be made. Man, I don't know who I'm talking to, but you've been through some stretching. You've been through some pain lately. And God wanted me to tell somebody and remind some people tonight that all that's really happening is God is creating room. He's preparing space for the harvest of destiny. Listen, the harvest is always bigger than the seed. And that's why labor is necessary. There is a contracting that begins to happen, that begins to make room for what God's getting ready to give birth to in your life. Don't despise this pain. God is increasing your capacity for destiny. Listen, guys, I have never met a single person of destiny who did not have stretch marks on their heart. Because the stretch marks spiritually that we encounter as we go through life, as we're giving birth to what God put on the inside of us, it happens on our hearts. It's God stretching the capacity of our heart. For God to accomplish what he wants to accomplish through you, he first has to make room in you. Your pain is evidence that your destiny is bigger than your current capacity. Somebody needs to write that down tonight. Okay, let me say it again. Your pain is evidence that your destiny is bigger than your current capacity. And that's why you're getting all of these stretch marks on your heart. And that's why some nights and some days you feel like I can't take this anymore. That's why sometimes you feel like I just can't do this another day, or I'm not going to make it. Or you feel like you're not going to make it to the finish line, or you feel like what God put in your heart's never going to come to pass. And you begin to question your own ability and your own strengths. The truth is, it hurts to be stretched. Every one of us. But it hurts worse to be crushed. Yeah, it hurts to be stretched, but it hurts worse to be crushed. Listen, and if God doesn't increase your capacity to handle what's being birthed in your life, then what you're giving birth to would kill you. He loves us enough to let us go through these birthing pains before we actually push out what God placed on the inside of us spiritually. I have a feeling that what I'm saying, I just pray that prophetically it's beginning to resonate in some of your hearts and in your minds tonight, because sometimes you feel in the midst of, if I may use the terminology, in the midst of spiritual labor of giving birth to the destiny God placed inside of you, you begin to wonder if God didn't walk away from you. You begin to wonder if God has forsaken you. Worst case scenario is that the enemy comes into your life and tells you that the birth pains you feel are really death pains. And it's a lie. It's an absolute lie. The truth is, you've never been closer to giving birth to what God placed in your heart. How do I know that? Because the Bible says that God works everything, all things, even the things that the enemy intended for evil. God works those things out for your good. Jeremiah said prophetically, I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. They're plans for good. They're plans to prosper you. These are the plans of the Father for his children's lives. And those promises are for you. So pain increases our capacity for destiny. God is stretching your heart. He's making room for what he's giving birth to. He's making room for the harvest. I can fit in my hand a handful of seeds, but once you plant the seeds and they grow and they're harvested, I can no longer fit them in my hand. They're way too big for my hand. I need something larger to carry the harvest once I've received it. And that's what God's doing in this season for many of you. He's increasing your capacity in your heart. He's increasing your capacity for love. He's increasing your capacity for patience, the fruit of the Spirit. He's increasing your capacity for curiosity and understanding and wisdom and knowledge and discretion. And what God's doing in this season is a good thing. So I think when you're encountering pain, you have to understand that God's using this pain, not against you, but he will use it for you. And the last thing about pain, and this is really important. Pain, if you haven't made up your mind about pain before it gets to you, pain will lie to you about your destiny. It will absolutely bold-faced lie to you about your destiny. If you don't predetermine in your heart what pain means before it gets there, it'll always tell stories about you. And usually as you get closer to giving birth to what God put on the inside of you, those lies get bolder and they get louder. Pain will tell you that you're failing when you're actually winning. Pain will tell you you can't make it when you're almost to the finish line. Pain will tell you you're not strong enough, but it's not true. You are, because the Bible says when you feel weak, Jesus said, I will be your strength. You have an unlimited amount of strength. Pain will tell you you're finished when you're just getting started. Pain will say you can't go on, but you can. And pain will say you don't have what it takes, but you do, because Christ abides on the inside of you. But when you realize that Jesus will build this into the process, not that he is, listen to me carefully, not that God is being cruel, but there is a stretching that happens that prepares us for this journey. And when we realize that pain is built into the process, it shows up, rather than get discouraged, watch this, you get more determined. I watched my wife, Pastor Tina, give birth to all of our kids. And every time when it got really close and the pain was the absolute worst, there was this moment of threshold where I could see it in her eyes. The pain was so intense that naturally there were moments of, can we do this? But then I also watched her flip the switch gears, and a strength showed up that she didn't know she had. She pushed out the life that was inside of her. And that's what's happening for many of you. I know you feel like you don't have any strength left, but there is a strength within that goes beyond you. And there is a strength available to you that goes beyond you, and it's found through Christ. This isn't the time for quitting. Somebody needs to hear this tonight prophetically. This is not the time for quitting. This is the time for pushing. This is not the time to stop. This is the time to go. Why? Because you're giving birth to destiny. And this is what you've been praying for. This is what you've been waiting for. And this is what it feels like spiritually to give birth to what God placed on the inside of you. And this is why, according to Hebrews chapter 12, we're to fix our eyes on the author and the finisher of our faith. The Bible says that Jesus went to the cross and he endured it for the joy set before him. Jesus knew on the other side of the pain, there would be a birthing spiritually. And what was waiting on the other side was worth what he was going through. And the author of Hebrews says we should stay focused on him because he knows about that pain. And he'll the strength when it's time for us to give birth to our own destiny. It was 9 years ago that Stinson walked into the church that Pastor Tina and I were leading in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. Before Darryll came and a few of his friends, there were absolutely no university students, much less athletes. They were among the first. They were, in a sense, a seed that a few years later would become an incredible harvest. Its Faith Community Church would grow from about 14 people that very first Sunday to, at its height, about 400. But it started in that little storefront church. And Darryll and several others were among those that were the seed to what would be a student harvest. The ministry ended up being made up of about 65% students. Darryll Stinson was one of the seeds of that harvest. 9 years ago, we met. And I remember the day he walked into the church. A lot of pain. And the more I got to know Darryll, the more I discovered about his pain. And it went beyond football injuries. There was a pain in his heart. I watched Darryll walk through many, many dark valleys. I couldn't tell you the amount of times Darryll came to sit down with me and just talk. I watched Darryll married and start a family. And I watched he and his family go through some valleys together. Pain. 9 years. I've got to watch them go through valleys and go through mountains. I've watched them endure all kinds of pain and disappointments. But tonight, my wife and I, who have had the blessed privilege of calling Brittany a son and daughter in the faith, we get to watch them give birth. It usually takes a mother 9 months to carry a child to term and give birth. I'm watching something that took, well, as long as we've known them, 9 years, but really much longer than that. These seeds have been planted inside of Darryll for a long time, from birth. And tonight, we all get the privilege of watching him give birth to destiny. Tonight is a birthing moment. And before I pray, all of you that are watching, I want to take a minute and say something to Darryll. Darryll, we're proud of you. We've always been proud of you. And we're not just proud of you because you've written a book. We're not just proud of you, the husband that you've become, the father, the minister, the leader, the pastor. We're proud of you because of who you are in Christ. All of these other things are evidence of your willingness to endure the pain and trust God. And we couldn't be proud of you tonight. You're giving birth to destiny. And that's what this is. And we've all gathered. We've all gathered to see the baby. And this is just the beginning. For those of you who are watching, Darryll got to this place not because of his strength, but because of the strength of Jesus that abides on the inside of him. You see, Darryll places faith in Christ, and it is securely there. Because of that, I watched the faith of Jesus and the strength of Jesus rise up in Darryll in those weak times, Darryll and Brittany and their family. He has sustained them. And that same strength is available to everybody that's watching this moment of celebration. You see, the Bible says that there's another birthing that happens. Jesus said that if we want to inherit the kingdom of heaven, we must be born again. He's not talking about a physical birth. He's talking about a spiritual birth. The good news is that particular birthing, that doesn't cause you pain. Jesus already went through those labor pains for you upon the cross, where he paid for all of your sins. And if you, like Darryll, recognize that you too need strength, that you too need, well, forgiveness, you too need a Savior. The same Jesus that lives inside of Darryll, and that has empowered Darryll to fulfill the dreams that were placed in his heart as a young boy, will come and live and abide inside of you. He'll forgive you. He'll give you a new life. He'll give you a clean slate, and he'll never forsake you. So I'd like to pray with you. If you'd like to place your faith in Jesus and receive Christ tonight, I want you to pray this prayer with me. Simply repeat this with me and say, Jesus, I believe you died on the cross for all of my sins. I believe that you rose again to give me a new life. And by faith, I receive your forgiveness, your love, and your life. In Jesus' name. Listen, if you just place your faith in Jesus, the Bible's pretty clear. You have literally been born again, and you're a new creation. And you can follow up with Darryll, and he'll help you take some next steps. But Darryll, on behalf of Pastor Tina and I, we couldn't possibly be prouder of you. We love you. Other than all those incredible family members that were just on, besides them, we're your biggest fans. We're in your corner. And this is just the beginning of God's grace upon your life.
Thank you so much, Pastor. Guys, if you pray that prayer, even if you're watching this replay, we want to connect with you. We want to help you get started on your journey. We want to help you find a community of believers to come around you. You go to secondchanceathletes.com/contact, and there's a place right there where you can put, I made a faith decision, and that will notify our team to reach out to you and really wrap their arms around you. Anytime a new baby is born, there's always a celebration. In fact, scripture says that heaven rejoices when one sinner repents. And so heaven's celebrating with you, and we want to celebrate with you. So go over to secondchanceathletes.com/contact, and we would love to just connect with you. Pastor, thank you so much for your time. Your words obviously mean a lot to us. You and Pastor Tina both. I know you guys got a little baby you got to take care of, but I just I thank you for carving time out of your evening to share with us tonight. We love you. We love you.
We love you too.
Here's Brittany. You want to say anything, Britt?
No, I'm just so happy.
Are you?
Yeah.
Said, here comes kids. You got
laughter to crying.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. Let me say one thing, Britt, because I know you got. Hi, sweetie. Pastor, just one more second. Hi. Mwah. You're making a cake for me. Okay, I'm gonna take it 1 second. Okay, guys, listen. I want you guys to connect with Pastor Travis. There's people always say this about, oh, Darryll, you're so amazing, you're so inspiring, you're so this, you're so that. Number one, I wouldn't be anything that I am without Christ. It is Him that keeps me going. It is His Spirit that you probably resonate with in the first place. Number two, without the support system that I have, you heard from my family. And then number three, the voice that's in my life, and that's Pastor Travis. And I've got a lot of things planned that I want to share, the way that his voice has helped guide me in my life. But I know that there's going to be entrepreneurs watching this. There's going to be Christians watching this. There's even going to be some people who are like, I don't even know if I want to call myself a Christian, who are watching this. I want to encourage you, follow Pastor Travis on Instagram, connect with him. Let me put his IG handle here. Because he shares some truth, and he's sharing a message, new covenant message of grace, that you don't have. It's not about what you do to get to God. It's about what God did to get to us. And I think it's a message that will encourage you. It's a message that will guide you, especially during these times. Can I tell you, when COVID-19 hit and the world was in a frenzy and people didn't know what to do, I immediately stepped up and began to live stream, just like Amber, who is behind the scenes supporting our book launch, and just like Pete Vargas, who some of you saw me on when he did the Rise Up Challenge with some of the world's top influencers. And the reason why I was able to meet that demand and to step up like that is because I heard this voice from Pastor Travis in my ear, telling me that I was a leader, telling me that it's Christ inside me, and that Christ is enough. And so, guys, I want to really encourage you to connect with him. If you get a fraction of what he's saying, and it helps you a fraction of what it has done for me, it is going to bless you. So, Pastor, one more time, thank you so much. Love you. Love you. I'm bringing Brittany back on. Have a good night. Hey, sweetie.
Hi. We have
What you
this
got?
for you.
Did you spell my name right? What's that?
It's cake. My biggest fear right now is that I would tilt it too far and it would be under my keyboard.
What kind of cake is it?
It's vanilla.
Sweet. Really excited. just the beginning. So excited for what's to come for you, Darryll, and how you live your life committed to helping others. Thank you so much, Jessica. And thank you for everybody who has joined tonight. I told my team that, look, I'll reserve a couple of moments at the end here. If anybody wants to come on, say something, drop some love in the chat, let me know. I'll bring you on live. Will you be launching an ebook as well? Yes, the ebook is already out. Is that right, sweetie?
Not yet. Oh
no.
Soon. It'll all be on that same Amazon link. So
a day or two. So yeah, that'll be out there. But
Yep.
They do get a digital copy if they buy the physical book. So Ian, I would just say go purchase the physical book. You get access to all of the details. You do have to go to the website, our website, Second Chance Athletes, and put your order number on the form so we know how to send you the bonuses. So make sure you do that. Guys, share this with everyone you know. We'll leave it up for a couple of days. And then I'm not asking, go enjoy your cake. You deserve it. Luckily here and so proud of you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you guys for supporting. It means the world to me. It really does. I said the two hardest things about this book process. Number one was finishing the project and not just finishing it, but releasing it into the world, because I wanted it to be so perfect and research sound and poetic, and I wanted 18 people to edit it. And by the way, let me shout out my editors, Sherry Knight, Jim Knight, Brittany, and Judy Godwin, who all took a look at the book. And if I'm forgetting somebody, I'm so sorry. Ryan was one of the first ones to read the ebook. So thank you guys for editing it and helping correct my grammar. So yeah, I completely lost my train of thought, Britt.
We're gonna give something away for the people who stayed.
Oh, I was gonna give something away.
Oh,
I don't remember what it was. I forgot. Yeah, writing a book is hard work, and it's like I just learned that there's no place that you get to where you feel like you're ready. You just got to release it. So thank you, Amber, for encouraging me to share it. And guys, I know it's late for some of us, and for some of you, you're just getting home. But the pursuit of perfection paralyzes a person's potential for peace. I know, Ryan. Look, I'll throw it on the screen for Ryan so he can get his TTP for the day. So true, Ryan. You're right. There was another thing I was gonna say that was hard about writing the book. Releasing it.
Feeling like it was never gonna be ready, or you could.
I already said that. I don't remember this. Oh, I know what it is. Knowing that I've got more books inside of me and really staying committed to this one mission, this one project, and knowing like, okay, look, stay focused. They're all like, stay focused on this mission and this message. And there was this pressure to broaden the message, to say, who am I after this? To talk about how the principles apply to military and all that stuff. And I was like, let me get this one out to the world first, and then we can kind of create some different stories within the book that shows. But if you're in any type of season of transition, the principles are transferable. You just got to take out sports examples and apply it to your life. But the phases are very much the same. So guys, go support the book. Remember, 100% of the proceeds in the first week is going to support our Elder Mike White Scholarship Fund, which goes to inner city youth sports programs. I keep forgetting to say sports. Love you guys. I've got nothing, Britt. Do you got anything else?
No, thank you guys so much for hanging with us. And
this cake.
This is not the last book launch party that you'll be invited to, but we are going to soak up this one. So
yeah, we're gonna soak this baby up, soak it all up. So love y'all. All right, we're signing off. I'm going to eat this cake at 9:00 at night, and I just gotta throw this out there because I am a competitor. Amber and her team said that I'm going to crash tomorrow. So I am going live tomorrow morning just to prove them wrong. But I'm not crashing. This is the beginning. This is not me landing the plane. The plane is about to get faster. We're about to hit the jet launch. So take some of that, Amber. Appreciate it. I will keep riding. Love you guys. And let me see if I can play some music to head on out. Let's end on a bang. What y'all want to hear? You want me to do the I'll do the rap. I'll end with the rap. How about that?
Okay.
Do that? All right, here we go. So this rap, can you hear me good?
Yeah.
My earpiece in. So this rap was something I wrote, and it talks about my testimony. Okay, it explains this period of time where I ran into Pastor Travis, and he said all these nice things that preachers are supposed to say, but I had a lot of pain in my heart because I've been hurt by church before, and I was agnostic. I didn't believe in Christ, and I had to go through some growing pain. So that's basically what this is. So it's a little bit of me, some of Pastor Travis, and a lot of bit of Jesus. All right. So here we go. Goes like this. I've been doing live stream all day. I got to get it together. It all started in a storefront church. A pastor named Travis quit full-time work. Gas money low, God, I knew it had to hurt, but a small seed of faith got planted in the dirt. I still remember when I came my first week, face so amazed, like this white man can preach? And wasn't perfect because he came from the streets. I seen it in his eyes that he came there for me. He told me, you're created for greatness. And I'm thinking to myself, man, that's the same old statement. Every preacher say the same old thing. You're created for more. That's the same old dream. Man, I know I got to clean up my life, stop smoking and drinking, and find me a wife. Everybody give the same advice. Lift your hands high, praise Jesus Christ. I was living in darkness but couldn't see the light. So I ran from the Lord to succeed the fight. I'm like that hard-headed boy that won't listen. He goes to school, but he never pays attention. Then he finds himself getting suspended. But thank God all he gave me was detention. Because Lord knows that I should have been expelled if it wasn't for his grace. I'd be running right in hell. Running from my call almost landed me in jail when I gave my life to Christ. Then I started to excel. I went back to church, but it didn't feel the same because deep down inside, I knew I had to change. Lord, I give you praise. Lord, I give you praise because you are so awesome. A good shepherd because you came and found the lost one. A good shepherd because you came and found a lost one. Then the chorus goes, our God, our God. So that's the rap that she wanted me to do. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you for celebrating this book launch. Share with everyone you know. Reach out to us. Join the movement because we are going to change the world together.